new and used options. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Schwieso Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schwieso Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schwieso.com. That's schwissow.com.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Comfort food, but make it vegan. At Rutabagas, they're serving all your crave-worthy classics. Mac and cheese, loaded nachos, Philly cheesesteaks, all 100% plant-powered and 100% delicious. Catch them at their cozy spot at 70th and Vine, or find their food truck rolling through the streets of Lincoln. So whether you're vegan, veg curious, or just hungry for comfort food with a twist, Rutabagas has a plate waiting for you. Find them on Instagram for their food truck location and specials. Rutabagas, where comfort meets compassion.
The party is back on in Lincoln this fall, and there's no party like the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the whole Ticket crew for 2.5 hours of pregame coverage before every home and away game this football season as they get you ready for the game. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show at our downtown studio at 11th and O. Sponsored by Select Plumbing, Raising Cane's, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Currency, and the Kindler Hotel.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the second season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Oerman. Old School with Foreman and Oerman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome to another week of the show here, 93.7 Ticket, ticketfm.com. It is Old School. I am the Oerman half of the show. To my left in studio, you're right on stream, the Foreman half of the studio. Let's bring him in, Husker Hall of Famer Jay Foreman. Jay, what a weekend of football, man. What a weekend.
Yeah, it was really good. I mean, look, when football's back, it's always the best time of the year. So, I mean, obviously the Huskers represented. My Texans did not.
You and I went 2 for 3 though on
Yeah,
Sunday. That's not
yeah.
bad.
And then, Josh Allen, aka Cyborg, did what he did.
The first Cyborg, Derrick Henry, was on pace to win me my fantasy matchup before that fumble. So I'm going to end up losing.
Yeah,
because he
because
coughed
of
it
that.
up.
Do you get negative points for a turnover?
Mm-hmm.
And that, and he hardly ever fumbles too.
I know. And we will talk about that game more. It deserves its full segment. That is coming up at 5 o'clock. Nebraska wins 68-0 over Akron. Let us know, 402-464-5685. Eric says, bleep Jake's Dolphins, go Colts. Eric, absolutely amen to that. Got some really incredible text from Jake about that game over the weekend. Really interesting presser from Matt Rule today, though. Jay, I think we can start there. Matt Rule, one of the things he was asked about was the mentality of the team. What are the next steps for the program? So here's about a 3-minute quote from Matt Rule talking about respecting your opponent and the evolution, the growth of his program's mindset here in year 3.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I want to make sure I say it again because I said it earlier. So I think that the UNI game, because we were coming off the high of Colorado, and then we went to play UNI, we started the disease of looking at the brand that we're playing at instead of making this man versus man, right? When you have the mindset that I talked about, where like when I play you, I respect you, okay, but I have no fear of you. I respect without fear. I play a nameless, faceless opponent, and you choose to line up against me. I'm going to play you till you quit or I quit. That's a mindset that like isn't super popular as much anymore because I can play 52 bad plays, have one good play and post that and get 1,000 likes and be like, hey, look at me. So it's just trying to build a culture where everyone's like, Instagram stuff is great. The content's great, but what does the actual film say? So I think like that, that was our season last year. That's year 2 for me sometimes. It's like, hey, we played Ohio State like this, then we come back the next week and we kind of play like this, and then we play like this. And then, well, what's the atmosphere like? How's the music? None of that matters. It's just football. And so I thought we were focused the whole game. I did not like the last drive. And as much as anything, it's just for them understanding, like, you're not playing to score more points than the other team. There's a standard that we want to play at. And if the other team with 46 seconds left is dropping back and throwing the ball, they don't respect you. They don't respect your pass rush. They should take a knee and go into the half and try to regroup, but that's not what they did. And so you should take that personally. When they take the ball and they defer to start the game, when they win the toss and defer, that means they think it's going to be a game in the second half, which I think is the right way to play, by the way. But like, these are things as a player, like if you have to have an edge to yourself. And so if the edge only comes from like, well, we're playing a ranked team, then that's the disease of average.
We'll stop it there. It goes on for another minute and a half. Jay, I think there's a lot of good stuff in that first about 100 seconds from Matt Rule.
Yeah, I mean, that's there's a lot there, boy. We could do 3 hours on that, man. That's all the stuff that we sometimes talk about. You can, how you score 68 points to 0. There is a big difference when you're in the meeting rooms or the facility over there, because I always feel like you remember when people used to always say you can't be explosive being a running team. Well, then I'll be like, well, Wisconsin was explosive when they were really running the ball. Minnesota's been plenty. There's team. I mean, Penn State, Ohio State, everybody's been explosive that way. And then, but
this place picked up some hardware being explosive running the ball.
Exactly, or being physical or practicing or whatever the excuses were, because everybody fell in. What he's talking about is that like the Oregon type of thing, the uniforms, the swag, the perception. I always talk about if you go through an airport, you see a lot of people with Oregon stuff. They never won a national championship. They haven't won anything, but they won the brand. And that's what he's saying. He wants a faceless opponent. He wants a standard that you play no matter what. And then to be honest with you, back probably when I played, I remember talking to one of our coaches. They really liked the coach from Pacific. So they they felt and tried different ways not to blow them out too much because it's a program. You want to do them a solid.
Mm-hmm.
Now with the way you have the 4 game rule for red shirts, you have kids that are constantly always maybe getting approached or thinking about the portal. Family members thinking about the portal as soon as you don't get 20 targets or whatever it is. You got to play this game competitive all the way to the end. And like he said, if you can't find the littlest thing to get you motivated or maybe just that much more turned up, well, then it can't be circumstantial. Every game you should be on edge. Every game you should play to a blind standard. And I call it the walk-by test. I talk about it all the time in basketball. It's you could just do it the flip the channel test. It's a Nebraska team. This is what it doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter if Dillon's the quarterback or Watson Trent's the middle linebacker or Van Poppel or whoever. They need to see, okay, these are the 4 or 5 things that they usually play like, and those are all the things he mentioned.
Matt Rule talked about that a little bit more throughout his press conference, being pretty pissed off at halftime because Akron had 46 seconds to work with, drove it down the field on Nebraska, and had a chance to get on the board. Of course, they missed the warm-up field goal, doinked that one at the end of the first half off the upright. And then Riley Van Poppel just overpowers the guy in front of him, gets a paw on the next field goal attempt, and ends up blocking it. But Jay, it's one of those things that I think many people from the outside wouldn't necessarily view as disrespectful. Of course, they have 46 seconds left. Let's run a play. If we get something great, we're off and running. If we don't, so be it. I think most people would say, with those 46 seconds, you got to run one. At the very least, get the play clock under 40, and then if it doesn't work, you kneel it down and run it out there. But I do like Matt Rule's approach, where it's one thing for people on the outside to say, okay, yeah, this is the situation. This is all they're going to do. So be it, no big deal. But as a player, to find that next level, to take it personal as they think they can get this over on you.
Yeah.
That's a mental edge that doesn't seem like Nebraska's had for years.
Yeah. I mean, he's trying to get the players to have that edge. I mean, it's great the coach has it. You want the players to have it. And what he's really saying is 2 things. I'm not going to speak for him, so I guess I'll dial that back. But what I hear is, okay, maybe we could have done a better job of bleeding the clock with us. Right? I mean, I'm just thinking about it. And he might be thinking of 2 or 3 series prior, whatever it may be. But more importantly, he's saying, we haven't made you bend the knee yet. You think you still have a chance. So then, therefore, we hadn't played the way we should up until this point. That's why you should be mad. And that's the standard he is saying. He wants you to be so broke off that you just let's go to halftime and figure something out. It came off like, okay, we took it like, okay, Akron was saying this is more on us. Let's just get a little something going on. We get the ball. Let's get a little 2 for 1. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I get where he's saying, coming with that. And, you got to be able to push buttons. You got another kind of, Houston Christians, I mean, those 2, Akron and Houston Christian, they probably might go to, 5 overtimes. You know what I'm saying? Who's gonna win the game 3-0? So it's the same thing. Same soup, just reheated. You gotta handle your business accordingly, and bigger and better. Come Saturday at 11.
I did like him also calling the mindset of the kind of front runner-ing the disease of average.
Well, that's what
I've played on teams like that, and we'll get to the Nebraska aspect because it's easy to say, oh yeah, we're so much better in this team when you look at the brand, right? I can think back to all sorts of times in high school where, I mean, we're all human. We all fall into the trap sometimes, but the teams I played on would say, oh yeah, it's this team, should be an easy day. We should win this one. Then kind of back off, get tentative when you see a little number next to someone else's name. Sometimes you raise your standard of play. Sometimes you back away and you're a little bit timid. And, most of the teams I played on were indeed just average, a little bit better. We could hold our own, but when it came to those big moments, wouldn't come through very often, and it was team sports. So sure, there's things I could look back on and regret. Too late for that now. But when it comes to Nebraska specifically, that's where this team has been essentially for 3 years. Average 5-7, 6-6, and now a prove it year 3 in a lot of ways as a program. I like what Matt Rule is saying that they need to build to is that Nebraska is too proud to be a front runner program. The easy thing to do is be that front runner and fall into disease of average. Nebraska deserves and Nebraska needs to avoid that trap because it has been better and because it can be better.
Yeah, but Austin, this has been a problem for longer than the last 3 years.
True.
The fan base is like that. This is because they've dummied down the expectations and standard based on what got you the mentality of thinking that you can beat somebody. It's the weirdest type of mindset. I'm telling you, it's like almost getting in there. You ever seen that? What is that Tetris or not Tetris or the one that used to go back and forth without losing anything? I would say like they're playing. some of the people's mindsets that like they're playing tennis and you don't lose a point. You serve it, you go over volley, you spike it back, and you're just going back and forth, and nobody's doing anything on the positive, but you're just acting like you're doing it. And the reason why I'm saying this is because, and what he's saying, and I've said it before, like you got this new fan base is like, oh, it's not the 90s. Nobody cares about the 90s anymore because the 90s have already done it. But if you're not taking what the 90s did and using it, we're talking about the fabric. Okay. Tommy Frazier isn't playing. I can't play anymore. Nobody that I know that played on those teams well, there's a couple, but but nobody that I know that have played on those teams and played. I'm talking about played for real. Ever like that's not their identity. It's like what we did. But when I think strategically over time, and I'm gonna say strategically over time, and this is regimes in the past, whether it's like presidents, athletic director, coaches, whatever it has been, when you start to get away with that, but then you want the benefits of it, that's where I say you're playing and you're not losing a point. That's what he's saying. That's how you get that front runner mentality.
At some point, you actually have to hit the triple yourself.
Yeah, but the front runner mentality is you get excited to play. Well, in my case, like Pacific. Okay, I'm jacked up to play this game. But or you hear the story of guys that are practice All-Americans, and you turn the lights on, and they're 3 or 4 steps slower. You're not even doing the things that we've seen Monday through Friday or Saturday or whatever it is, or Saturday in the case of the NFL. And then you get out there and playing, and it's like you're a totally different person because there's no pressure. You don't run away from pressure. You run to it. The only way you apply pressure is essentially turn it up during the week or whenever you are. That's what he's saying. The front.
But he even said that today. Pressure's not going anywhere. It's always going to be there.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, I don't understand. I just don't. I mean, I don't ever understand. I do not understand this whole like, and this has nothing to do with the team now, but just in general, like this whole defeatist mentality of like it's so hard. It is not hard. It's as hard as you make it. You can't play football without it being hard. It's
not hard. It's just what it is.
I know we had a texter who said, catching a game in 90-degree heat or whatever. I'm talking about the whole year. There's not a harder sport out there because you have to train 8 months out of the year to play 12 times. And it's not easy because you're running in, like in my case, you're going to run into somebody that's 100 pounds heavier and quite frankly, stronger. I'm going to have to cover somebody that's faster. I got to, cover a tight end or a running back, let alone, try to walk and chew gum, try to be physically able to do that. And it's more of a mental thing. So it is hard. And, when you seek out easy, you fail when it comes hard. Now you might get lucky over here.
But understand when you get lucky and when you aren't.
But you won't be consistent. And that's what he's searching for. Consistency year in and year out. That's what he's talking about right now. Because if you have a standard, if you understand that you play the same no matter who you're playing against, and yes, you play against, in a couple of weeks we're playing against Michigan. We get into conference play. There is going to be more resistance. But your same fundamentals and technique and pad level and all is not going to be any different. Akron, Houston Christian, Cincinnati, Michigan, Ohio State, Iowa, Oregon. It can't be any different. So what are you going to do? All of a sudden, like, I think sometimes people have this mentality. It's like, okay, I'm turning on. I'm I'm going to be physical this week. Ready, break. I'm serious.
Yeah, no.
And you see it with these high school kids, like they'll, and there is different factors, and their emotions are obviously not at the, be able to be in check. But, he's saying like, look, you're here at a blue blood university, period. That's not going to ever go away, because on the flip side, if you want it to go away, well, then there's only going to be 40,000 people in there, and you don't want that.
No.
And that will probably never happen. So the pressure is already there before you even get here. Now, do you accept the pressure? Now you can't accept the money, okay, without the pressure. There's no. I mean, I don't know anybody out here that gets paid to run a business. He's like, you know what? Well, besides Kawhi Leonard, I would say don't go to work. You know what? Don't get any results. We'll just pay you whatever. Just imagine if you took over the Bank of
America.
The Bank of America. They're like, yeah, we got a new CEO or CFO, whatever the name is. You know, they got all these funny names. The new president or whatever. Yeah, man, don't worry about hitting any marks. Thanks for being here.
Yeah. Thanks for your time.
Yeah,
We appreciate it.
Here's about 40 million too. Yeah, thanks. So, I mean, it's.
You know what I'd say?
I would do it. I would do it, I guess. I guess I could do this for you. But I think that's what he's trying to get at. He's like, these guys, they got to go play, and you got to play every day. You got to train every day. You can't get, punch drunk off of, being 2-0, and them 68 points is done now. Now you got to try to score 78 or whatever it is.
You brought up blue blood, and I think that's, always an interesting conversation to have. We're not going to have it, but I think that, Nebraska players, given the amount of resources that get poured into that program, will always live like college football royalty, almost regardless of what the results are on the field. But at some point, you got to work, like red blood. Get that blood pumping, do something, maybe live like a king, work like a peasant, something like that.
I mean, but it's not circumstantial. Like when I hear that come out of your mouth, I was like, I can't even understand. It would never even cross my mind to think like that.
And that goes to, I think, what Money G in Kansas wants to know. Can a coach teach toughness, or is a lot of it just in a player's DNA?
It's a little bit of both.
But I think I'm going to put words in your mouth here because I think I know where this is going. It's mostly on the players. You pretty much are who you are before you get to college, and you can make some incremental gains and shifts, but you're not going to change your whole personality when you get to college.
You can bring it out of people. You can bring it wholly out of people. Circumstances will bring it out, and they might reluctantly do it, but they will do it.
But it was already in them.
It was there, but you can drag it out of them, and they will reluctantly do it, but then they will do it. So then they become it. Now, I just need you to be that on
the regular.
On the regular. 12 Saturdays out of the year. If I can get you 12 Saturdays out of the year, I already know I got that at some point in time during the week. So whether you want to work from the end result to back or the front result to the end, we can get there. I think everybody that they, when you think of like Tommy Frazier as a freshman, Grant Wisham as a freshman, Amir Abdullah as a freshman versus Rex Burkhead, all those guys versus when they're a senior, everybody goes through the process. It is a lot of player led. It's holding each other accountable, but then it's also you got to be able to be in a position where you're challenging each other, and it's got to be a competitive environment. And it is different. You got to potentially coach kids different. You got to find a way to go about it a different way. But at the base of it, it will never change because the human mind hasn't changed. Nobody's you know what I'm saying. It's not a new like program for robots. You just got to find a different way to get there. And just like you can think like I can make a football practice hard. We can run gassers all day. That's
or after the game, like Fran Brown.
Yeah, Fran Brown, right? But you could do a whole bunch of stuff like that. So that's already like a guarantee. It's going to be hard. What you need is that extra layer. So you want guys to feel more accountable to their teammates than to the coaches, because how a teammate views you, or you would think, should be worse, because if you're like winning there, then whatever the coach has to talk to you, then it's really not that. I mean, I would say not that important. It's not as bad. You need to have good peer pressure.
Coaches yell at players. Players don't always yell at players.
Yeah, and it's not even about yelling. It's all of it. You as a leaders on the team, you got to know what guy you need to ride, what guy you need to push, or what guy you need to kind of be there and kind of keep them, in the guardrails. There's probably about 0.5% of athletes that are driven beyond measures. And those are the guys that have the single names: LeBron, Jordan, Kobe, Brady, Manning, Moss, all those dudes. Okay. Those guys are driven, right? Those in some of them, Brady was driven by always being looked over or just whatever it is, right? Majority of athletes, you got to push them. Some you have to push more than others. Some you have to push like moving heaven and earth. That's why that's where the phrase juice versus squeeze, or squeeze, or juice versus squeeze, because at some point in time it does have to be some sort of relationship. That's why relationships are so important. how you coach guys and all this other stuff. I was just talking about Reggie Herring, who was a great influence and coach for me. I can't even remember in the first 3 years I played for him that he ever kind of like went overboard with like you playing it. Now, mind you, within one of those 3 years, I led the league in tackles. I know that for a fact. And I think the prior year, I was a first alternate for the Pro Bowl via special teams, and then played defense as well. Not as good as I did that year. But what I'm saying is that the relationship I had with him was much stronger than the pats on the back. But here's also where the relationship is most like really important. Bobby Greer is a good friend, a good family friend. Obviously, his son is the GM for the Dolphins, but Bobby Greer was a longtime scout and GM down in Houston. So after I left, I went and got something to eat, and he told me like specifically about when I was kind of up for got my first contract and then I had to get it redone, how much Reggie went to bat on a personal level outside of the play. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? So that's why relationships and with the players is so important, because the message that he was delivering. I mean, some of the stuff he used to say to me, like, hey.
He came up to you on the street and said that.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be a good reaction, but I knew it was. First of all, you got to be willing to accept it, and then also, I never really gave it back. I mean, I would push back, but he knew when to come like 1,000% like a torpedo. He knew other ways to like maybe build it up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was talking about that game. I think like when it was it Tom Jackson and Chris Berman were doing NFL primetime or whatever. And, I'd been on a heater. I mean, I think I went like 5-6 games in a row with like 18 plus. And then, we played at that time the Redskins. Or it was New England. And me and Jamie we got busy a little bit, right? And it was one play I messed up on. And I kind of slipped a little bit, and it was the turf or the grass or I just kind of like was trying to go back and slip. Dude jumped on me. And I remember it was play 58. And at
least it wasn't 56.
I know, right? That would have been worse. So the grade sheets were like Excel worksheet, and then it'd be a little notes. Well, he circled this bad boy. And so everybody sees the grade sheet. You know what I'm saying? He was like, oh, play 58. Rewind, forward, rewind, forward, right? It wasn't just in the moment. He knew the next week, Austin, we were playing Pittsburgh. Right? So that's Monday. Wednesdays, he went into his whole thing about Pittsburgh, Jerome Bettis, their fullback, the history of Pittsburgh, Alan Faneca, this, and this, blah, blah, blah. He already knew he had me on point for Monday. Right. So but it's the relationship though. And then he just sat back, and then, we're still friends to this day. And so I think that's where, Matt Rule is trying to do a good job of getting guys to coach them, hold them accountable, handing it off to players and say, this is what it is. You got to go do it, man. I'm here to assist you. I want to see you go do it.
Bill and Bennett says it was Akron, put 40 up on Michigan, and I'll be greatly impressed. But I think that goes to exactly what we're saying, Bill, is that Nebraska is not going to put up 40 on Michigan without playing to, the man-to-man standard instead of to the brand, right? Like Jay said, you're not just going to wake up and say, okay, yep, time to go score 40 on Michigan and do it. Scoring 68 points against Akron isn't everything, but it at least gives Nebraska a chance against Michigan. If they're able to take that standard that Matt Rule feels like they played with and carry that over to Michigan. They've proven they can do it against one caliber of competition. How does it look against another caliber?
Yeah,
we'll see in a couple weeks.
Michigan's coming here with my man Biff
Poggi. Yeah, he's back.
By the way, he had that Catholic school in Baltimore making people tap out. You heard about it? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's going to wear any sleeves down here.
Oh no. We'll go to break. When we get back, recruiting update from the first weekend at home from Brian Munson of Husker Online, diving into the weekend in college football in the Big Ten and the NFL after that here on Old School.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Oerman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are your feet just killing you and you feel like all hope is lost? Say goodbye to discomfort and hello to pain relief at Brown's Shoe Fit. They offer expert advice along with high-quality products to help you find the right solution tailored to your specific needs. Need a different width? Not a problem. Brown's carries a wide range of widths in store. Brown's Shoe Fit on 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Comfort food, but make it vegan. At Rutabagas, they're serving all your crave-worthy classics. Mac and cheese, loaded nachos, Philly cheesesteaks, all 100% plant-powered and 100% delicious. Catch them at their cozy spot at 70th and Vine, or find their food truck rolling through the streets of Lincoln. So whether you're vegan, veg curious, or just hungry for comfort food with a twist, Rutabagas has a plate waiting for you. Find them on Instagram for their food truck location and specials. Rutabagas, where comfort meets compassion. MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial to residential to agriculture storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post-frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schweizo.com. That's schwisow.com.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Oerman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Here we are on Old School. Austin Oerman, Jay Foreman with you. But right now we are headed to our Allo Fiber VIP line where we're joined by Brian Munson of Husker Online. Before we get into the nuts and bolts of what we're going to get into here with Brian, holy cow, B. Muntz, did you sleep at all last night after those final 5 minutes of that football game? What did your Bills do?
Well, I tell you what, I was ready to go to bed about let's see, about 12 minutes left in the fourth quarter. I can't remember what exactly happened. I think that I was a little bit upset with offensive coordinator Brady's conservative play calling, particularly Cook just running to the middle of the offensive line and just getting stuffed. And I had just seen enough of it. I turned around. I think I just kind of smacked the couch cushion. My wife said, I'm going to bed. And I go, I think I'm right behind you. I can't believe this. They're not even trying. And then I said, I just had this morbid curiosity and decided to stay up. And I actually woke her back up again with about 48 seconds left in the game. And I said, hey, honey, they're going to win. And she was just could not believe it and was happy I got her up. And after that, it was eyes wide open like I had drank a pot of coffee, I think till about 2:30. And then obviously 6 o'clock comes pretty bright and early at that point. So yeah, it's been a long Monday. I'm excited on so many different levels about what happened yesterday. I think the first though is that I think I really has kind of sunk in that I'm going to be up there in Buffalo in a month to go to the same kind of Sunday night game against the Patriots.
Oh,
so
nice.
I'm really, really excited about getting a chance to say farewell, to the old stadium, seeing the new stadium and looking around and testing everything around town. So that's number one. But number two, I think that people are catching on a little bit to like just the wholesomeness of this team, and maybe even more of Josh Allen. I think that there was a great interview on NFL Network, which obviously was previewed a little bit on Hard Knocks, and I think it just says so much about him as a person. And I think a lot of people just kind of relate to him. The Wyoming guy that's originally from California, and just has these amazing kind of perspective, and I think everybody just kind of appreciates that. So I thought it was amazing, despite the fact that both teams put up 40 points, and one team won and one team lost. I think the other both teams are going to go back today and go, we got to work on a lot of stuff, including defense, and both teams have got to start locking that down a little bit better.
Flip side of that was Nebraska football and Akron. Very one-sided game, 68-0 in favor of the Huskers. Big recruiting weekend, Brian. You wrote about the list of players that were in town. Generally speaking, what was the vibe from the guys that you had a chance to talk to that witnessed Nebraska's 68-0 win over the Zips?
Yeah, it was really good. I think out of the 14 players that we confirmed, I think I caught up with 11, maybe 12 now that I think about it. So actually, I was just typing up Trey Taylor when you called me. So I'd say the vibe was incredibly positive. I mean, how else can you go out there and impress somebody with, 700 yards of total offense, scoring 68 points, and pitching a shutout? I mean, you're getting all sides at that point. And I think that obviously special teams played their part, offense, defense did their part, the environment, the fans did their part, that atmosphere on Saturday night, it got so many people just to mention it about, how loud it was. And this was coming from, veterans. So I would say veterans like Matt Erickson and even like a Trey Taylor who have been to several games at Nebraska. But I think Saturday night was just one of those super loud environments that everybody is just, just loved. And I think the part here though that needs to be mentioned is just the extra juice that Nebraska is getting on these weekend visits in the fall for the 27 and the 2028 guys. It's huge. And I made mention of this earlier in the week. Last week, it was either in 3 and Out or Tunnel Talk. It's kind of all bleeds together now. Where, years past, you would just, as a recruit, walk into a specific gate, talk to a person, get your tickets, and go to your seat. And you were there basically just to see a game, and then you kind of up and left, and maybe you checked out early at halftime or whatever. These are very different events. They are bringing the recruits in. They're talking to coaches. They're seeing facilities. They're doing tours, and there's no loss. Basically, there's no missed opportunity, is what I'm trying to say, when those recruits are in town. Because heck, I mean, you had 3 guys in from Georgia, 1 guy in from Pennsylvania. You had guys coming in from all over the country, guy from Florida. They're not going to let those guys travel hundreds of miles and make sure that they didn't see everything that they needed to see to come back again for another visit. And I felt like that was like the other part that was really present in all in my conversations with everybody, is that they've all seen enough now to want to come back. Even guys like Simeon, who's been up there now. This is his 3rd time taking a visit to Nebraska. He's talking about now that he knows he'll be back for a 4th trip. So this is exactly what Nebraska wants. They want to bring players in early. They want to bring players back often, to where you're not just taking, a junior day trip in January or February, coming in the spring and then set up an official visit. By the time they get to their official visit, that player should have been on campus 5+ times, ideally. And I think with a lot of guys, they will actually hit that mark.
When you talk about the missed opportunities maybe in years past and how this has changed, why were there missed opportunities? Was that an attitude thing from either, previous administrations? Was it a staffing size deal that this current staff rectified just to get more bodies in there? Why was Nebraska missing those opportunities, and what led to the shift?
I don't think it's just Nebraska. I think that the thought was that on Saturday, that was just to come in and see a game and see how the team on the field kind of operates and soak up the atmosphere. And a lot of times, I mean, like I said, you'd have a guy come in for one visit, and yeah, it was great, but man, I've been to these other schools and they're closer to me, and now you're telling me to come out there and pay my way again and come out for a junior day so I can see behind the closed doors. Well, I was already there 3 months ago. I could have seen behind closed doors then. I think it's more about, just like I said, the missed opportunities that have happened before. And just, I think that the understanding kind of was that you just don't do that kind of recruiting like for unofficial visitors before in the past. And, I think a lot of that's changed. I think a lot of that's changed now to where, everything has been slid left. All the timelines have been sped up. 2026 class is essentially done. You didn't have a 2026 uncommitted prospect on campus this weekend. So far, to my knowledge, you won't have one next weekend. I'll be very surprised that you'll have one until, probably till Michigan. So that being said, it's like everything now is about younger guys. I think with younger guys, the thought was just come in and see a game and see what we're all about. Now it's really like, let's show you how some of the sausage is made. And let's show you how things are kind of happening behind closed doors, and let's get you another view. And, oh yeah, you got some questions. Well, Matt Rule's got answers, and your position coach is going to make sure that you leave here without having any questions. And we're going to have a conversation about you coming back again. I think it has something to do with span of control. I think it has something to do with limiting the amount of recruits you're having in Lincoln at a single time. Because you don't have those cattle car kind of calls, where you got 50, 60, 70 kids coming in. There was 14. There was 14 of them this weekend, and 4 of them were commits. So you really had 10 uncommitted prospects in Lincoln. And I think that makes it much more easy to manage when it comes to kind of getting everybody their information that they need.
We're talking with Brian Munson of Husker Online here on our Allo Fiber VIP line. Of those 10 uncommitted prospects that were in town, Brian, who do you think Nebraska spent the most time with and maybe made the biggest impact on?
Yeah, I think it's tough not to say Albert Simeon. I think despite the fact that he's been there, this being his 3rd time, being there a couple times before, I think that Nebraska has really made a strong impression on him. I think that he digs the fact that he knows Trey Taylor so well. I think he saw an offensive line performance on Saturday that he could really kind of get behind and sees himself essentially playing for that type of offense. He's got a connection to Coach Raiola. I think, like I said, I think Simeon is kind of tough to beat. I'd say all of them, though, the ones that I had spoken with, we're all impressed. And, I think you're going to find that this kind of approach for Nebraska is going to pay some dividends. I think the part that really kind of strikes me still is how many of these guys either came in for like Battle of the Boneyard or the huddle recruiting orientation earlier in June. Those two events, I think, will go down as kind of those things you want to circle in the historical timeline for a lot of these recruits, because they kind of got the ball rolling with those two types of events in Lincoln. So you certainly hope Nebraska is going to find a way to continue with Adidas and Huddle to work on putting together a couple of those similar programs in years to come. I think it's really going to pay off for them in recruiting.
A name that was on the list that I don't recall you or I having talked about or been on many Husker fans' radar, Jacob Thomas, 27 wide receiver, 4-star, currently a Pitt commit. You flash up there on the grid view, 10.38 100 guy. I'm going to guess Nebraska likes his speed.
Likes his speed, sees him doing several things in their offense. I think for him, it's just he committed early. He's going to come back to Nebraska again later on in the fall, or later on, I guess in the future. He saw everything that, he needed to see to kind of get back. So he's still evaluating things. I think this is like one of those really misleading kind of commitments. I probably saw at the moment, what he needed to see to kind of check all the boxes, and then kind of slowly getting out more and seeing things. I mean, I thought what was kind of telling with him was that, other than Nebraska, he's only got one other visit set up at the moment, and that's to go to Pitt, where he's committed. So I thought that was pretty telling. I think Nebraska is doing an excellent job recruiting him. I really felt like they had they're tag teaming him with a couple of different staff members, and I think it's definitely paying off.
The other wide receiver, I believe, that was in town then it was Matthew Gregory, 27 guy as well, out of Pennsylvania, like you mentioned. Another sub 10.5 guy. What's it looking like for Nebraska with that 4-star out of Pennsylvania?
Did not get a hold of him from Pottstown. So did catch up with a couple guys about him. I think it's always difficult, when you got a guy growing up around Pennsylvania and Penn State's in the picture. I mean, arguably the top team in the country. So going to be a tough pull. Obviously, he's in the Big Ten footprint. I think, when you start taking a look at, Jacob Thomas and being a Florida guy and Nebraska being a very real thing, and you can put him obviously in touch with, Jacory Barney and Cortez Mills and let them kind of teach him and show him the big picture about what they're able to do early on in their careers. I think that goes pretty far, because I just feel like the Floridian kids, they feel connected where there's other kids, particularly thousands of miles away from home, but they feel connected where there's other kids that are from the same part of the world as them. So I just never caught up with Matthew, but other people told me he had a great time as well.
There you have it. That's a recruiting update from Brian Munson of Husker Online with us here during Old School. Brian, Monday Night Football, I know it's on the docket tonight, but you don't have to watch it. It's going to be okay if you need to tap out of that one early.
Well, I secured. I thought my tight end was going to have to be in play and kind of clinch my victory for me for fantasy football. So I'd like to get TJ the night off, but I'd like to go ahead and score the most points in the league this weekend to kind of kick things off. So yeah, I'll be around. I'll check it out. It's going to be a interesting NFC North matchup.
Well, I was on pace to win my matchup until Derrick Henry fumbled. So you're welcome for that one.
Well, I mean, that's not Bosa's fault, that's Oliver's fault, but so you'll have to forgive me. That did help me out quite a bit last night, and but ultimately, man, it's still a lot of season to play. Either team can lose right there and still be very much in the picture for the Super Bowl.
Here's the thing: I have to be okay with the fumble because I share a studio with former Buffalo Bill Jay Foreman, and I'd rather see my friends happy than my fantasy team win. So you know what, Brian? I'll give you this one.
That's right, man. You tell Jay hello and hey. Oh, let's go Buffalo, baby.
There we go. Certainly will. We won't talk to you next week. We'll talk to you here in a couple then, Brian. Thanks a ton.
Sounds good. Later.
Brian joined us on our Aloe Fiber VIP line. Aloe Fiber is where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. Also, the TV internet provider of your Nebraska Cornhuskers. We'll wrap up hour one of Old School, giving away $50 to Garada Bar and Lounge after this.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Oerman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
M Suits Clothiers, Lincoln's favorite men's store. Family owned and operated, located 1 block south of 56th and Pine Lake Road. Go bold this summer and fall with endless possibilities. Stop in now for the best selection on sweaters, outerwear, suits, sport coats, dress pants, and dress shirts. M Suits Clothiers, your menswear store.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at WindowWorldLincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial to residential to agriculture storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post-frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
This just in. Hot off the bench press. Planet Fitness has expanded strength equipment. Save $28 or more when you join today. We're raising the bar with these benches, and our hack squat will have you actually looking forward to leg day. Plus, we're still repping all the best-in-class equipment we've always had. There's no better time to get stronger. So join Planet Fitness today and save $28 or more. Just $1 down, $15 a month.
Find your nearest club and join today. Deal ends September 12th.
See Home Club for details.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Salt Mine City is your go-to brewery in the Haymarket for craft beers and great food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their Big Fatty 7-ounce hamburger or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. And don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open 2 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 11 a.m. Friday through Sunday at 8th and R.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top-quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
An overdose can happen in front of you and you might not realize it. Blue lips, slowed breathing, pinpoint pupils, choking sounds, unresponsive to touch or sounds. These signs aren't always obvious, but they can be deadly. Knowing what to do could save your friend, your neighbor, your child. Learn more by visiting myhealthymind.crediblemmind.com so you can be ready before it happens. This message is funded in part by the CDC OD2A grant.
Back to old school with Foreman and Oerman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, we're back wrapping up hour one of Old School. Big thanks to Brian Munson of Husker Online for his time. We will talk more about the Buffalo Bills comeback against the Ravens coming up in hour two of the show. Plenty of college football to get to moving forward, though. If you have $50 to give away to Grotto Bar and Lounge, everyone's favorite question is, what's for dinner? The easy answer is Grotto Bar and Lounge, located in the Clock Tower Shopping Center at 70th and A. Grotto features a menu full of delicious options of all sorts of unique items, your traditional items as well. They also have daily specials and incredible drink options. Visit Grotto Bar and Lounge today at 70th and A. All right. For $50, all you have to answer, how many tackles did Nebraska's leading tackler have against Akron? 402-464-5685. How many tackles did Nebraska's leading tackler have in the 68-0 dismantling of the Zips? Jay, you mentioned that game against Pacific a little bit. What are some other memorable blowouts for you in your time in Nebraska? The games you're chilling with a hot dog on the sideline. Waiting for it to be
We blew
over.
out Arizona State. Then they came back and beat us the next year. I mean, obviously, we blew out Tennessee. We blew out Florida. I mean, 95, we blew everybody out the water. So, I mean, those are memorable. I mean, I think, it's just part of what we did. And I think that, this is probably where Georgia and, like, Alabama probably looked a little similar, where, I was talking to Coach Samuel, who coached me, and coached, a ton of players that were, obviously more high profile and better than me, but he coached me specifically the year in 95, actually. And one of the things he said, it was kind of funny. And in Coach Sam, if you know, we'll get to have him on. He's a smooth operator. He's like, hey, Chief. He never really got mad. He's like, hey, Chief, you need to do that. Real smooth. He's like, people don't realize, Chief, he calls it. He's like, we used to break people. And when everybody says it now, like breaking people, but when you break someone or break a team, you break them for like 5+ years. I'm just dead serious.
Not just for the next week.
No, you break them. And you see some teams in the NFL that do it, or you see players that do it. I'm going to tell you a story here about Michael Vick. If you go back and Google, he had that run against the Minnesota Vikings. Was it the Minnesota Vikings or the Rams? It was one of them. And there was a linebacker from Florida State, and he was a big yapper. And I remember he had played with Carolina, and I knew Mike Rucker, obviously. And so we would talk, and I'd ask him about this, because we played Carolina, and then he was on the sideline talking junk to us on deep. And I was like, dude, you're on special team. Like
you're over there.
Yeah,
we're over
here. What are you doing? Right? You must have he was talking junk, and maybe he didn't think I was that good. So I asked him about it. Or his name was Brian Allen. That's his name, Brian Allen, Florida State. He's the guy when he played for the Rams. He left his playbook somewhere that the other team got it. Yeah, he's that dude. Well, in the locker room at the Panthers, they were like, yeah, he hadn't been the same since Michael Vick essentially diced him up. But it broke him. It can't happen. You can break teams. You can break programs. It's no different than when there's an old story about Tiger Woods and Ernie Els. And they were playing over, I think, in Dubai or something, in the off season. And Ernie had a really good round, and on the last hole, I think it was in Dubai, and Tiger was talking to Steve Williams is one that told the story. And Tiger needed a birdie. And before he hit the shot onto the green to eventually win the tournament, Tiger Woods told his caddy, he's like, I beat him now. He'll never never ever will be able to beat me.
And
effectively broke him. Yeah.
Mm.
So, but that's part of the deal, man. It happens. You don't apologize for it.
You do not.
Akron is broken.
Okay.
Inevitably.
Sorry, Joe Moorhead.
Yeah.
But not really. The answer, Cade Petchuk led Nebraska with 4 tackles, by the way. One-Eyed Ray, you are the winner. $50
He had
to
4.
Grotto
I thought
Bar
everybody
and
had
Rent.
3.
You got credited with the 4th one in the postgame.
Freshman.
So he did score the safety as well. So I guess we'll give it to him.
Yeah.
So 4 tackles for Cade Petchuk. One-Eyed Ray, you are the winner for $50 to Grotto Bar and Lounge. We'll be back talking more college football across the Big Ten and the national landscape in hour 2 of the show.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Oerman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet. O Street Carpet. 1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Looking to upgrade your equipment and keep cash in your pocket? Through August at Landmark Implement, get up to a 24-month waiver on select John Deere tractors and combines, or lock in a 1.9% fixed rate for 36 months, followed by 6.2% interest fixed for up to another 36 months. When planning for this year's harvest, we've got a solution that works for your bottom line. Visit your Landmark Implement today and check us out at landmarkimp.com and experience the Landmark difference.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. 93.7 The Ticket. Fox, KFXL Weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a chance of showers and thunderstorms. Otherwise, mainly cloudy skies and breezy. High around 75. Tonight, a chance of showers and storms. The low near 62. And tomorrow, showers so possible in the morning. Otherwise, decreasing clouds. The high near 81. I'm meteorologist Kyle Bucker, 3.7 Ticket, and theticketfm.com.
Salt Mine City is your go-to brewery in the Haymarket for craft beers and great food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their Big Fatty 7-ounce hamburger or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. And don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open 2 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 11 a.m. Friday through Sunday at 8th and R.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. This month kicks off Koppel's 50th anniversary sale. We're celebrating 50 years by offering an additional $500 discount to the next 100 customers that buy a new vehicle. This is in addition to the huge savings already in place. You can take an extra $500 off our discounted price, or we can cut you a check on the spot. Celebrate with savings and see why customers have trusted Koppel since 1975. It's our way of saying thank you for all these years.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers, as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5200 5800 or visit us online at doorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Stocking top models from Can-Am, Kawasaki, Honda, Polaris, CF Moto, Suzuki, Yamaha, Indian Motorcycle, Sea-Doo, and Triton trailers. Score big on our massive selection of Can-Am side-by-sides with rebates up to $3,000 on select in-stock models. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location. They can't wait to get you set up for football season.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial to residential to agriculture storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post-frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Oerman. Old School with Foreman and Oerman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome to it, hour 2 of the show. Austin and Jay with you. It's Old School with Foreman and Oerman, brought to you by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Go to themercadobutcher.com to learn more today. Not much more needs to be said about Nebraska-Akron. Huskers win at 68-0, so we can take a spin around the rest of the Big Ten Conference, break down some of the key games that happened there. Northwestern and Maryland both won on Friday. It was the Wildcats 42-7 over the Leathernecks of Western Illinois. And Maryland took down Northern Illinois 20-9. Moving then on to Saturday, Ohio State beats Grambling 70-0. Penn State 34-0 over Florida International. Let's, Jay, go to game number 3 on Saturday in the Big Ten. Oregon looks good. Oklahoma State might be cooked.
Man.
I mean, Gundy, come on, brother.
Yeah, that's you can't there's no way that Oregon is that much better than you.
And if they are, that's a problem. But there's no way they're not.
There's no way. With a new quarterback, multiple guys getting drafted. They had 2 defensive linemen getting drafted, one in the first round, obviously, and you get beat 69-3. Essentially, they turned the faucet off in the third quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's embarrassing right there, man. I mean, Mike Gundy was already on the hot seat, and I know Billy Napier got the A-OK that they're going to keep him. And Mike Gundy had to take a pay cut. Or remember, it went down to like the 23rd hour, before they could rework his contract. They felt like they could fire him for cause. So at this point, he's coaching for, his tenure there with Oklahoma State. I still think he's a good coach, more than capable. But that's a big score right there. And that's consistently giving up 3 scores in 3 quarters. The fourth quarter don't count because they pretty much were just looking at the clock. And then when they weren't even when Oregon wasn't trying to score, you couldn't score. You're supposed to be an offensive guy. I mean, if you lost the game,
your quarterback, for Pete's sake, you put up 3,
69-33. You're like, all right, they're just that much better than us on offense, and we got to get a little bit better on defense. Right now, you just got annihilated, annihilated. And the worst part is you ran your mouth beforehand. So you had to know when you got you left Stillwater on that long flight. Did they play at Oregon?
Yep.
Oh.
Stillwater, Oklahoma to Eugene, Oregon. Not exactly easily accessible by non-private aircraft. And yet they made the.
And you don't even know who you can blame. Dante Moore, who hadn't played in like 3 years. He's 16-21 efficient, 3 TDs, 266 yards. Zane Flores, Nebraska's own from Gretna, 7 of 19 for 67 yards,
Two picks.
2 picks. Now you ran the ball okay, so maybe you should have done that.
Here's the thing. Maybe running the ball would have helped, but not that much. Oklahoma State actually possessed the ball longer than Oregon did. Never try to tell me the time of possession is the whole story. Bill Connolly in his week 2 write-up pointed out that when Oregon beat up Washington 44-10 and Washington State 63-14 in 2008, the time of possessions in those games 24 minutes and 17 seconds and 27 minutes and 36 seconds for Oregon. Their combined yardage margin in those games was plus 490 in 2 games. Saturday, plus 420 while losing time of possession battle. That is explosiveness personified.
Yeah, and you can possess the ball because we score within 3 or 4 plays, and so that's how Oregon is generally always played. Number 2 is
Oregon had more gains of 40 or more yards, 5 plays, than Oklahoma State had gains of double digits overall.
Yeah. I mean, that was pure domination. Pretty much it was like pat and go. That's on air.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, whatever they called it worked. And so part of it's how Oregon plays. Even back when Chip Kelly was there, they generally were like, quick strike and it looked good. And then if you really played physical with them, then you could kind of really dummy it down. But then also Oklahoma State defensively. You're trying to tell me an Oklahoma State Cowboys team defensively that generally has guys at the next level. And you've had the chance through the transfer portal to better your team from last year.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think part of his salary reduction went into recruiting, I think. Or that was part of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you give up 69 points in 3 quarters?
Yeah.
Bro, you in some trouble.
Tough look. Also a tough look for my Duke Blue Devils. Illinois looks the part. 45-19. Wasn't with the run game. Only averaged 2.9 yards per carry on 42 attempts. You factor out the kneel downs at the end of the game, it was still 38 for 127, which isn't exactly world beating and certainly not Brett Bielema style numbers. But Jay, how about this? Luke Altmaier, 22 of 31 through the air for 296 yards and 3 tutties. Man, not the way you expect Illinois to win games, but good on them for doing it. 45-19 in a true road game.
Yeah, and the game was a lot closer than that score indicates. I think at one point in time, it was a 1-point game. And
at half. 14-13 Illinois at half.
And something happened. I forget what did Duke do. Duke had 2 guys on the field with the same number. Illinois got a first down or got the ball back, which, the penalty gave them a first down. They scored. Then they got the field goal. Game over.
Yeah.
Just like that. You go from potentially taking the lead to down by 8 or 9, and then you're down by, because they went for 2, I think, and got it, or whatever it was. The next thing you know, you're down by 12 points, just like that.
And then it snowballed.
Yeah.
17 unanswered points in the fourth. When it was still a ball game, it was 28-19 at that point. Illinois pours it on. Late the game that you heard on these airwaves, notable to Nebraska fans, Oklahoma 24, Michigan 13. No points in the first half for Michigan. All 13 of their points in the third quarter to make it a game. Jay, you talked about that Oklahoma defensive front. It absolutely showed up to play. I know Haynes had a pretty big day, but man, holding Michigan scoreless in 3 different quarters. That's a feat.
Yeah, and they're playing at home. Venables was gunning for this game. I'm sure they came in well prepared. Mateer is a real deal quarterback. I think they're able, as you saw in the first week, they're able to score some points in bunches. But that defense was flying around, and they confused Underwood to the point he was very frustrated on the sidelines. The first time that he probably ever faced really true adversity, because you got to think, if he didn't win a state championship in high school, he probably played well in a loss, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is where he didn't play well. He looked a little bit overwhelmed, especially particularly in the first half, which obviously, hopefully, he is. A couple weeks at here at Nebraska, they started to get it going in the third quarter, and then in the fourth quarter, another adjustment by Brett Venables in that defense, and then also enough offense to get him over the hump.
What's Michigan going to take away from Oklahoma that it's going to work on over the next couple of weeks before it comes to Lincoln?
They're going to take that second half, and you'd like to think Underwood will be better next week. It'll be better, obviously, in Nebraska. They'll focus on that second half. I think they played way too close to the vest early.
Mm.
You have to, I think in a road game like this, with Mateer at quarterback, the guy that they want and they need, and it kind of works. The desperation is there, right? He's needed a place. They need him. This is it. This is our guy with the coordinator, with the receivers and all that. You got to expect they're at least going to score 10 points. Now they scored 14, but getting off the bus, at least they're going to score a touchdown in the first quarter, right? So you have to try to match that off the rip by halftime. So even if they're up 14, if they have 14, it's 14-7. Way too conservative. I think Michigan felt like they could just beat them up physically. It didn't work out that way, and then eventually they started getting going. It was a little bit too little, too late.
Flip side of that question, then, what can Nebraska? I know Nebraska's got to be Nebraska, but what can Nebraska learn from what Oklahoma did to give itself a better chance against Michigan?
We got to win up front defensively, and in the offensive line for Oklahoma, played well. So you got to win up front, and then with a young quarterback like that, you got to give him different looks. You got to take away his initial look, and then you got to get him off the spot. You don't want him to be comfortable. That's exactly what Oklahoma did. And so you got to think he's a freshman. Oh, and sure, he's been there since January. He doesn't have any experience of playing. The playbook is not the same size for him as it is Dylan Raiola, right?
Sure.
So
sure.
It doesn't matter who the coordinator is. Just talked about the experience and lack of experience with the two quarterbacks. And so what Nebraska needs to do is just kind of look what Oklahoma did. But more importantly, you can't look at anything else schematically until you win up front. You win up front. That's going to put you in this case, in our case, being at home, up 9-0 or whatever, 9 points ahead, because you'll be able to get the ball back. You expect our special teams to play well, get in a position offensively to be able to score an easy touchdown within that first quarter and a half.
What have you liked or not liked from Mateer through a couple weeks here at Oklahoma? Of course, he balled out at Washington State last year. So far this year, 51 of 71 through the air, 662 yards. That's a 72% completion percentage at 9 yards per pass attempt. 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, been sacked 3 times. He hasn't been perfect, but he at least looks fun. He looks kind of like a Lincoln Riley Oklahoma quarterback.
He does. That's what I was going to say. He looks like a taller version, Kyler Murray, with those guys that he can run. I mean, he ran it 19 times. He almost had 80 yards. So that's 4 yards a clip at the quarterback position. So that's a lot of touches for him. That's 53 touches for him. So I like it that, he fits what Oklahoma quarterbacks been over time, and they've all been very successful, and they're hard to stop because you have that run pass aspect with him, and he's a pretty accurate passer, and he can play out there off schedule. You can put a lot of pressure on the defense, and it's not just the pressure that he puts on you in the first quarter, chasing him around. At times he tries to run physical. That really can wear a defense out, both mentally and physically. And so that's what they were able to do against Michigan, even though Michigan was able to kind of squeeze the clock a little bit with the running attack. They weren't able to do the same thing tit for tat for Mateer, and Mateer, I think, was the biggest part in them winning the game.
Elsewhere in the Big Ten, after Oklahoma's win against Michigan, Iowa State takes down Iowa. Late field goal for the Cyclones takes down the Hawkeyes. Final score of 16-13. Iowa State looks good. They moved to 3-0. The win over Kansas State in Dublin. The big win over South Dakota that we talked about last Monday. Now a 3-point win over rival Iowa in the Cyhawk game. As good as Mateer's looked for Oklahoma, Jay, Mark Gronowski has not looked so good for Iowa. I know it's early on, but looks like him throwing that 8-yard out route on the move was not exactly a sign of things to come.
No, the first 2 weeks have been a struggle. To be honest with you, a letdown. I mean, if there ever was the stars aligning for Iowa at the quarterback position, it was him coming out of the portal.
Well, after we thought it was McNamara a couple years ago.
Right, but I think with him, he'd had more success throwing the ball.
Sure.
Now, because of the way Michigan plays, but you think okay, he's transferring, he's got 1 year left. He's there early. They kind of felt like they upgraded their wide receiver position, a really good offensive line. They feel like they got 2 running backs that are capable. And, a lot of pressure is on him. So you gotta understand that. But then also, this is where his teammates and Kurt Ferentz have got to get him going because they need him to play a lot better. I thought that they started to really out tough Iowa State. I think Iowa State brought it to him physically early. Iowa was able. This is what I talked about. Michigan versus Oklahoma. Iowa was able to withstand the initial knockout blow and didn't have to, they got right up off the canvas. They didn't need to stand an 8 count. So when Iowa State came out really guns a-blazing, Iowa held them to a couple field goals, kept it within fighting distance.
It was 13-10 at half.
Yeah, then you go in only down 3 versus being down 17-3 or something like that if they would have cashed in some of those, opportunities. And then Iowa started to take over physically. Patterson came in and he was starting to do some stuff, a lot of stuff. And then Iowa's defense started to really squeeze Iowa State. And then Iowa State was able to make some timely plays. And then obviously their field goal kicker is pretty dang good. I mean, he hit a 63-yarder last week. That 54-yarder that he hit, I think it's the same yardage as they beat Iowa last year, the walk-off, was just a foregone conclusion. And then more importantly, once that happened, the pass rush from the interior, the whole defensive line for Iowa State was able to close the deal. And that also was in part because of Iowa's passing game has been pretty much
the same for 10 years.
Same for 10 years. And so that's in their head. And so until Iowa has that game to where they had like we had on Saturday night or like we'll talk about Minnesota or Indiana, they're going to struggle when they play against a team that can resist that running attack.
Couple other things on Iowa here. So with Gronowski, new record holder for fewest passing yards by a Big Ten quarterback in the first two games of a season, at least with a minimum of 35 attempts dating back to 1995. Previous record holder, Thorne in Nebraska side, Kane Coulter from Northwestern, who had 50 more passing yards.
But he was more of a runner.
He was.
Yeah, and he split time, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's not created equal.
No.
You didn't took
Gronowski's worse.
Yeah, you're worse. And when you look at him, he's 13 to 24, average 3.5 yards of completion. I mean, this is inept, and they ran the ball decently, but it was mainly with Patterson. And then the thing I don't really like is Xavier Williams only toted it 7 times. He's young, NFL, and then obviously Patterson started going.
Yeah.
Gronowski had 16 carries. You can't do that against Iowa State. He's not that much. He's not that dynamic of an athlete to run.
I think the D1 level.
At the FBS level. Mateer, yes. Gronowski, no.
Good athlete, not great athlete.
Against that
defense, that's
speed, right? Big 12 defense built on speed. And I think they played right in their hands.
The other part about Iowa before we move on throughout the rest of the Big Ten, Iowa now 0-10 in its last 10 games against ranked opponents, Jay. Twice lost last year, Ohio State and Missouri, 3 times in 2023, twice in 22, and twice in 2021. This is where you start, again, not going to be a one-to-one comparison, so take this with a grain of salt, listeners out there. Is Iowa reaching the Bo Pelini point with Kirk Ferentz? Have they been there? Is it time for them to try to take a step forward? I'd love to know what some of those conversations are inside the Iowa athletic department, because not that ranked opponent wins are everything, but Iowa hasn't been a serious player in the Big Ten for a handful of years now.
Yeah, the worst thing for Iowa that happened?
No divisions.
No divisions. Oregon, Washington, USC. So then you went from right under the top 2 or 3 in the Big Ten. Now you're like way down in a lot of ways lower than Nebraska. And so what you used to be able to hang your hat on was, here comes Wisconsin ranked into Iowa City, you beat them. Or here comes like Minnesota, you beat them. Or you go to Minnesota, you beat them. Or you go to Illinois, or you beat Illinois that's ranked. You always were able to beat in the ranked team. And then therefore, Kirk Ferentz obviously he should be able to coach there as long as he wants. And they'll turn it around because you feel like they'll get it going, right? But then also, let's not forget, the new athletic director was specifically brought in to fire your son. Who do you think is next?
Who do you think?
Who do you think?
Give you 3 guesses. You won't need 2 of them.
Now it won't be as known, but the conversation. Hey, you think about retiring?
No. Yes, you are.
You sure about that? I'd heard you thinking about retiring.
Little birdie told me. Yeah. Herky over there.
Yeah, one of your family members called in and said, you've been really contemplating on Sunday at family dinner. Kirk Ferentz, I wonder who that was. Then eventually, we've decided with the Board of Regents, we're going to give you a legacy contract, but we're going to need you right now to stop coaching here.
To do the big thing for the good of the program.
All that stuff. Just boost them up.
Be a hero one last time, Kirk.
Just little slithers of cuts in his back and just throwing salt in there. You know what I mean? And then telling him it don't sting.
Nope.
Yeah.
You're okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it's interesting. And then it's a double loss. You lost to Iowa State.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, and because I think this year Iowa fans are like, okay, that's cute that you guys made a run last year, but you lost all those guys to the league.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to beat you because we're Iowa. We're going to beat you.
Nope.
Up jumped the Cats. I mean, here's a sneaky stat here.
Up jumped the Clones, but
what?
Up jumped the Clones.
No, Austin. Up jumped the Cat is Ebonics. That's by Joyce Garrison. Trust me. Up jumped the Cat. I've heard it for 40-something years.
I was just making a Clones reference because Iowa State. But
okay,
I'll give you your Ebonics.
Yeah, okay,
that's
like
all
that.
I was doing.
You know what? I like yours better. You see, you always
we're on the same thing.
The Colts hat is got you winning. Here's the thing: Iowa's defensive line 0 sacks.
Woo.
Iowa State's defensive line 3. 2 of them by McDonough down the stretch. That's it.
Closing time,
right?
baby.
Yeah, that's the difference in the game because the first one was Marcus Neal and kind of a quarterback kind of like run, right? Okay,
that's tripped him up behind the line.
Right, that's great.
Yeah,
but the 2, I think it might have been back-to-back plays. That's the dagger in the heart. Net start.
Indiana beats Kennesaw State. Minnesota beats Northwestern State. They barely play in the fourth quarter. Wisconsin pulls away after half to beat Middle Tennessee. Pretty big. Same story for Rutgers over Miami of Ohio. USC pours it on Georgia Southern pretty much all night long. Really 2 other games I think to mention here in the next few minutes, Jay. Michigan State and Boston College, 42-40. Eagles score 21 points in the second quarter. Michigan State fights back to tie it in the fourth, going to overtime. The alternate touchdown. Spartans end up getting their 2-point conversion to go. Boston College does not. Man, Lonergan had a day for Boston College, but Aiden Childs stepped up when Michigan State needed him to.
Yeah, I mean, it was timely plays, and the 3-yard touchdown and the 2-point conversion obviously that's the lasting memory. And I'm sure Coach Smith is excited. Look, he's 2-0. Probably felt like they let a bowl game slip last year, right? I mean, he won 5 games.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I thought Boston College, had a chance to really dagger in the heart this game. I mean, you're up 21-14, but feel like on the road you're up by 1 score going into halftime. You feel like you got more than control of the game.
Mm-hmm.
The quarterback played well, and you just let it go at the end. It wasn't as drastic, but it kind of reminded me of the Bills and the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
The road team comes in pretty much is dominating the game, and it's kind of like, all right, you let it get out of hand. You can see you tap out, this and this, and then next thing you know, Aiden Childs does his thing. I mean, that's a big victory for Michigan State, Coach Smith. More importantly, Childs.
Mm-hmm.
When they talk about the quarterbacks at these schools, especially like let's call Michigan State like mid-level,
Yeah, that's where they're at right now.
Is that those type of victories are the ones that are constantly on the loop of replay. Look what you did down here. That's the one that you're seeing all through campus. That's the one that they keep playing in the bars and all that because you're able to come back and beat a known opponent. It wasn't against Georgia Southern. It wasn't against Southern Illinois. It was against Boston College, no matter what.
Respected head coach.
Right. FBS team. So it's a big victory.
The other game to talk about in the Big Ten, don't look now, UCLA's 0-2, Jay.
Oh, man.
They made the comeback, almost.
Yeah, but they just lost. First of all, they lost so much defensively last year. They lost superior athletic ability at the first and second level.
Mm-hmm.
That a team like UCLA just can't replace, and that's a byproduct of when Chip left, the lack of investment NIL money. They probably haven't hit the $20.5 million. Deshaun Foster, he's probably it's just going to be a rough year. I mean, they've had some coaching transition. Obviously, Eric Bieniemy's gone. You got Nico. He had a decent game for him.
29-41, 255 and a tutty through the air for him.
Yeah, but it's not. I don't think he'll ever be able to light it up because you don't have the skill position guys. You don't have the guy that can go get it.
And when you did last year, you sure didn't necessarily light it up.
And then you had the tight end, and he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's gonna be tough. And UNLV, our boy Dan Mullen. Hey, right out of the booth.
Uh-huh.
And here's the funny thing about Dan Mullen before we go to break, right? And we're gonna give a shout out to Washington, though, too. My man Jed Fish. He's been talking about quarterback Williams and Coleman, and they're the real deal. Dan Mullen, when you go and look at their roster, he went into the portal and got a bunch of questionable guys like this. Like I can guarantee he's like, hey, look, we probably we got you a meal ticket, got you some housing. We'll get you a little bit of NIL money. We'll get you a couple things, the Caesar Palace, all you
rewards points, whatever.
Reward points. You can have stay. That's where your parents stay.
Don't go to the sports book. Yeah. Just spin the slots.
We'll just let you know. You know this is your last chance, right? It's like last chance you. And it's working out for him. He's got 3 victories. And, obviously Barry Odom did a good job last year, but, he's living in – I mean, I'm sure he's getting a lot of free meals right now.
Here's the thing. The players can be questionable as long as they're not questionable at best.
It's
true. The at best that worries you.
Actually, I want questionable players because that let me know I got to reel him in somewhere.
Maybe
right?
we can answer.
But when you're questionable at best, there's no chance.
There's no chance this segment can go on much longer. We'll take a look around the rest of the landscape of college football when we get back to Old School.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Oerman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's specials through September 9th are 15% off produce, $1 off all drinks, and 8-ounce grass-fed, grass-finished flat iron steaks for $12.99 each. Plus, stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursday at the Mercado East or Fired Up Friday at the Mercado North. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney and Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
When your home fills up with family, Allo Fiber makes sure that space is a happy place for everyone. Allo Fiber experts install it all, and full service means step-by-step support, guiding you through everything so you can stay connected to what matters, and the family can always feel at home. Put the game on, and don't worry about your Wi-Fi calling a timeout. Better TV and internet service is one connection away. Call Allo at 866-481-2556 or visit allofiber.com.
Feeling off lately? Struggling with your mental well-being can make everyday life harder, and it can also increase the risk of substance use. Early support can make a big difference. Visit myhealthymind.crediblemmind.com and take the free mental health check-in assessment. In just a few minutes, you'll get non-judgmental feedback, local resources, and next steps to help you feel more in control and supported. This message is funded in part by the CDC OD2A grant. MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com. It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Stocking top models from Can-Am, Kawasaki, Honda, Polaris, CF Moto, Suzuki, Yamaha, Indian Motorcycle, Sea-Doo, and Triton trailers. Score big on our massive selection of Can-Am side-by-sides with rebates up to $3,000 on select in-stock models. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location. They can't wait to get you set up for football season.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. This month kicks off Koppel's 50th anniversary sale. We're We're celebrating 50 years by offering an additional $500 discount to the next 100 customers that buy a new vehicle. This is in addition to the huge savings already in place. You can take an extra $500 off our discounted price, or we can cut you a check on the spot. Celebrate with savings and see why customers have trusted Koppel since 1975. It's our way of saying thank you for all these years.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Oh, Kansas.
Here we go. If I can have it today.
You just don't stop giving, do you?
Green flag, we're underway.
The closest finish in NASCAR Cup Series history. Close to downtown, amazing campground. 3 NASCAR races in one weekend, and it's the playoffs.
God can't drive.
Now you're just showing off. But we're not mad. In fact, we're looking forward to it. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Kansas Speedway, September 26th through the 28th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Back to old school with Foreman and Oerman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Halfway home on Old School on a Monday. Still lots of football to get into. I hope you've never thrown a football through your window like I have, but if you do need it replaced, go to Heartland of Nebraska Windows. They're based out of Hallam, Nebraska. They offer a free estimate, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and a lifetime warranty on everything while keeping their prices affordable. They're locally and family owned with their own team of installers. Learn more by giving them a call today at 402-430-3852, or you can visit them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. Lots to get to, Jay, from the national scene in college football. I think we got to start down in Gainesville. South Florida does it again. They host Boise State, take them to the woodshed, and then they survive almost Florida. They're up. Florida comes back. They get the penalty, and then they take advantage of it. Drive all the way down the field for the game-winning chip shot. Field goal, Alex Golish and the Bulls now 2-0 in the year, and as of now, in pole position for that Group of 5 playoff spot.
Yeah, they're kings of Florida right now. They are dangerous.
And they got the U coming up, Jay.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, that's Saturday.
Yeah,
watch out.
They're
watch out, Canes.
Yeah, they're dangerous right now. They're playing with a confidence and finding ways to win. And it's up for grabs. Everybody just felt like, they've been kind of overlooked. But I think that victory against Florida Atlantic last year and, way that kind of, handshake went between him and Herman really showed the swag that Golish got. And they play a very, it's a lot of RPO, but I think they can pass it good enough. Very well coached in situational football. Really good young staff. I think they're going to be a problem. I think they're going to give Miami more, not more than they can handle, but a lot more than what they think they're going to get.
I'm still trying to figure out who Byron Brown, the quarterback, reminds me of. He's pretty sturdy, but he's got, legit dual threat abilities.
Yeah.
Not just a runner. Pretty good arm, relatively accurate.
He's a faster version of Jason Campbell that was at Auburn. This is before your time.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't remember the name.
Yeah, Jason Campbell wasn't very fleet of foot, but his body and his build reminds me of Jason Campbell. I played against
Okay,
Jason Campbell,
I can see it. I can see it.
You maybe Kaiser from Notre Dame. Remember him? Went to Cleveland.
Yeah, Kaiser was skinny though.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of guys that maybe Hundley.
He looks kind of like the TCU running back in terms of his frame.
Yeah. Hey, but
you know,
yeah. Hey, you gotta. Hey, do not sleep on him though.
I'm not.
Yeah, that might be the new deal. Get a running back and teach him to pass. Utah, South Florida. Lessen the learning curve. You don't have any scar tissue. Just do what
do what we tell you.
Yeah, do what
you will be fine.
Yeah, and just run it whenever whenever you have to overthink things. So,
Oh.
I mean, I like their team. I like their coach. I think Florida, they have enough talent that they're not getting much less than the bigger schools. And I think a lot of guys go there because they can play early and they want to show what they can do. So, I mean, I think it's a great situation for the program to be in top 20. Remember a couple years ago, they gave Alabama all they can handle.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Remember when Alabama would take like a 10-point lead? Well, here comes South Florida. South Florida would take a 1 or 2 point lead. Here comes Bama. Bama was able to get over the hump.
That game was rain delayed, I think, in the first half for a while
and
too.
That was Milroe.
Yeah.
Was struggled against it. So I just talk. When you think about the speed and all that stuff, I mean, they're right there with it, and they definitely are competitive.
Not a good sign for Florida that you're getting the vote of confidence statement from Scott Strickland. Now, it would take a lot of money to fire him that you don't necessarily have to splash around in this rev sharing era. But holy cow, we are in week 2, and we already got the Billy Napier's not going anywhere. Shut up about it from Scott Strickland.
Well, that's a byproduct of Florida playing well down the stretch last year. People keep referring back to that, which raised the expectations, which are what, Austin? Emotional based. Generally led by the fan base. And they don't know any of the financials and obviously none of the conversations between the head coach and the AD. So the AD had to come out and put that to rest. You just pretty much said, I ain't paying the buyout.
Not doing it, guys. Can't do it.
Napier's here. And Florida should have won that game. It was a trap game, or they were asleep too long and then obviously got beat. But when you think about it, though, is there really that much difference between South Florida and Florida right now as they stand?
Not right now.
Exactly. Because Florida, obviously has, a little bit more money or a lot more money. They probably haven't developed the players like they should.
Lightweight didn't step up.
Right. And I know he was a little banged up, but, then you have to say, okay, how much is those highly talented players over the last 2 or 3 years really been developed? Probably not as much. There's no way Florida should lose to South Florida. South Florida should be a loss for South Florida, but a moral victory for South Florida.
They should be happy to be pesky
and be close. Now they beat them, and I don't know if you saw the video, Austin. Did you see their coaches?
Oh, they were hyped. They got the elevator stuck.
Right.
They were jumping around and got the elevator stuck. Had to wait for help.
Ran right past the Florida coaches. But the funny thing is, the 2 coaches must have been friends, right? So the one went in there, and he's like, probably looked around for his friend, came back. The Florida coach was walking. He's like, let's go. That's what I'm talking about. I knew we would win. The Florida coach was walking right past him. We pretty much was talking junk. Like, I told you we were going to beat these chumps.
And they did.
Yeah, man, that's tough. I mean, congrats to them.
Fun weekend in the Big 12. Baylor comes back to beat SMU 48-45. That is an upset. A bad weekend for Kansas. They lose 42-31 to Missouri.
That wasn't nice looking, though, either. That was not good looking aesthetically.
It was not.
No. And it looked like it was, hey, Mr. Stand on Business is back. Coach Stand on Business is standing on business.
Right there.
And they brought the belt out too.
Oh, of course.
BTA, and then they were playing the drums with it. The University of Kansas alumni drum
with their belt.
Yeah.
Tough scenes for the Jayhawks. 2 upsets. One of a Big 12, or actually both of a Big 12 team. Mississippi State over Arizona State. True road game in Stark Vegas. Arizona State takes the lead into the 4th quarter. And then here comes Mississippi State down the field. Was Arizona State playing cover zero? Was that a bust? Was that a really good play? What went into that last touchdown for Mississippi State to all but walk it off?
That had to be a bust.
Dude had no help over
No
top.
help. It had to be a bust. But how do you bust, though?
On that part of the game.
Right. You went over this.
How? You have one job.
You went over this yesterday.
Keep them in front.
Yesterday.
And probably today in walkthrough.
And you know what? They were probably, well, first of all, you're on the road, so the crowd noise isn't there. I'm sure the coaches were yelling.
Mm.
And just imagine, I'm telling you, I've been there when I saw the Mississippi Miracle. Game over.
Mm.
It's tough, man. That's tough.
Also tough, Kansas State since Dublin. Not a great look for them against Iowa State, but okay, week one sloppiness. Struggle to put away a North Dakota team that did the same thing to Nebraska. And then here comes our nation's army, storming into the Little Apple with a come-from-behind win. Kansas State takes the kickoff back to score early in the third quarter, and then they don't score again from there, I believe. Tough going for Kansas State. Army possesses the ball for 41 minutes. They outgain Kansas State. They pile up 237 rushing yards, and yet it was really a couple plays, Jay. That surprise onside kick, I put in air quotes. Hope that kicker's a sniper.
Yeah.
He nailed the K-State guy. Scores a possession for Army. And then what looked like the fumble after the catch. Ball don't lie. It's an interception just a couple plays later. Rough going here early in the season for Chris Kleiman and the Wildcats.
Yeah, it's week 3 or actually week 4 for them, or fourth game of the year. They're going down to Tucson, Arizona, to must win. This is a must win. This is it. And here's the problem is I think they put a really big emphasis on Avery Johnson having a good year this year. I think they need to change back to the old Kansas State. They need to start getting physical in between the tackles. Number one.
That's what Chris Kleiman's always been.
Right. But I mean, I know that the trip to Dublin obviously can wear you out, but when you look at
2 weeks in a row, that's not an excuse.
Yeah, but when you look at Kansas State, and we'll see about Arizona State, but I'll clump them into the same. Sometimes, I said Nebraska's a blue blood, but in that second tier or whatever Kansas State and Arizona State is, I'll just say Kansas State and Arizona State are in that third tier or whatever, or second tier or whatever it is.
Some history, not a lot of tradition.
Yeah, and a really good year. Both of them had really good years. Obviously, Arizona State had a phenomenal year. Kansas State quietly had a really good year last year.
2 in a row.
They are that level's version of blue bloods. So then you think you roll into the season the next year.
This is who we are. This
right.
is how we'll be.
What Matt Rule talked about, like, look, you're not gonna internet beat anybody. You got to go beat them. Kansas State is struggling right now. They don't look like the same. Like you walk past, they don't look like the same Kansas State team. And it's kind of like one of those things a couple years ago, not to throw shots at you. You remember when the Indianapolis Colts, when we talked about some of the rumors where some of the players, because Indianapolis is a small market, they all kind of either got paid or started to get some notoriety. They just kind of looked like they chilled that last year. Now they look a little bit more focused. That might be Kansas State right now.
It might be.
It definitely is Arizona State.
Oh, boy. Woo. That was a 2-10 Mississippi State team last year.
I know.
Who you had to assume they're going to get better.
That came on the road, though. That's a long flight to come over there, and it probably was hot.
Go to Stark Vegas.
Yeah.
What is there to do except focus on the football game?
Well, that's the problem. It's like when DP talks about going out there to College Park. You just out there, man. There might not know, you know what I mean?
In the vortex.
Yeah. You could fall asleep and get bored. Because it's a SEC team, but it's really not. Because it's not Bama. It's not even Ole Miss. It's Mississippi State.
But Arizona State and Mississippi State probably share that same tier in college football. Not right now. Arizona State obviously had the better year. But in terms of what they've done historically.
And that's the problem. Arizona State is thinking about what?
Last year.
What did Mississippi State do?
We got to get better.
We ain't thinking about last year. Now you're dealing with us this year. It's tough, man. That's a tough loss because I'm guarantee you when they were getting ready to play, they didn't think Mississippi State was going to be a problem.
No.
So
they were. Start to finish. Clemson, don't think you're off the hook. We're talking about Dabo and his boys to round out hour 2.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Oerman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
A fall aeration by Judson Irrigation will help maintain your lawn by maximizing the effectiveness of your watering and fertilization. Judson will flag the locations of your sprinkler heads, followed by a deep core aeration to give your lawn the breath of fresh air it needs. Schedule your aeration today. Your lawn will love you for it.
Let us aerate today to ensure a healthy head start for your lawn next spring. Go to judsonirrigation.com or call Judson Bylene 402-420-6277.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Fairway has fresh cut meats, seafood, cheese, wine, and spirits, and a friendly staff that's always ready to help you find what you need. Stop by Fairway Meat Market today to plan your weekly meals in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Oh, Kansas.
Here we go. Second half today.
You just don't stop giving, do you?
Green flag, we're underway.
The closest finish in NASCAR Cup Series history. Close to downtown, amazing campgrounds, 3 NASCAR races in one weekend, and it's the playoffs.
You guys can't drive.
Now you're just showing off. But we're not mad. In fact, we're looking forward to it. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Kansas Speedway, September 26th through the 28th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
Hi, this is Tom Osborne. Join me on September 23rd and dine at your favorite local Renza in support of Teammates Mentoring. 10% of Runza sales on September 23rd will benefit your local Teammates Mentoring chapter. Teammates Mentoring helps students reach their full potential by providing a caring adult mentor to meet with them once a week in school. Thank you for your support of Teammates Mentoring. We will see you at Runza on September 23rd.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a chance of showers and thunderstorms. Otherwise, mainly cloudy skies and breezy. High around 75. Tonight, a chance of showers and storms. The low near 62. And tomorrow, showers so possible in the morning. Otherwise, decreasing clouds. The high near 81. I'm meteorologist Kyle Bucker, 3.7 Ticket, and theticketfm.com.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
When your home fills up with family, Allo Fiber makes sure that space is a happy place for everyone. Allo Fiber experts install it all, and full service means step-by-step support, guiding you through everything so you can stay connected to what matters, and the family can always feel at home. Put the game on, and don't worry about your Wi-Fi calling a timeout. Better TV and internet service is one connection away. Call Allo at 866-481-2556 or visit allofiber.com.
Imagine starting your day with a computer glitch that leaves you feeling stuck, frustrated, and unable to get your work done. You have 1,000,001 things to get done today, and waiting for the tech issue to solve itself isn't one of them. It's time to let Hamilton handle the tech so you don't have to. We help businesses across the state spend more time on what they do best and less time frustrated with office technology. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we're focused on providing custom solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Connect with us today at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Nutrition Authority invites you to try Blitz 250. Blitz 250 is a fully loaded pre-workout for those who want the most out of their workouts. Blitz 250 is safe for sport and banned substance-free. Blitz 250 can only be found at Nutrition Authority. For location info, check us out at mynutritionauthority.com.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and digital insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Are your feet just killing you and you feel like all hope is lost? Say goodbye to discomfort and hello to pain relief at Brown's Shoe Fit. They offer expert advice along with high-quality products to help you find the right solution tailored to your specific needs. Need a different width? Not a problem. Brown's carries a wide range of widths in store. Brown's Shoe Fit on 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Back to old school with Foreman and Oerman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're wrapping up hour 2 of Old School. Austin and Jay with you. Talked a lot of college football so far. Plenty to get to in a loaded opening weekend in the NFL. This segment brought to you by Love Volleyball Nebraska. Recently rebranded. Excited for them to change their name from Love Volleyball Omaha now to officially Love Volleyball Nebraska. Go to lovb.com today to get your season tickets for the first time or renew them for your chance to see more Huskers, former Huskers, national champions, and national team players in action. Jay, Clemson, season opening loss to LSU, and then didn't exactly look the part against Troy, getting down 16-0 against a team in Troy that we've seen come here to Lincoln and beat Nebraska before. Certainly no stranger to big upsets are the Trojans. But man, for a team with some top 5 buzz going into the year, put that expectation words on it for Clemson, getting down 16-0 against anybody is not a good look, especially a team like Troy, who you're probably familiar with. You've played them before in the past. And Clemson, of all the preseason top 5, top 10 teams, really outside of Alabama has looked least the part of a legitimate top 10 team.
Yeah, I mean, the only difference is Clemson, even though they haven't looked good, they've played hard. Alabama is just kind of, that's what makes it such an eyesore down there in Tuscaloosa. But I think with, I was one of the guys that thought like Clemson could, in a really, like in a perfect world, they could potentially run the table, but definitely was a shoe-in to get into the, CFP.
Mm-hmm.
I think they showed some glaring weaknesses in the second half, which kind of coincided with Williams, their number one receiver, going out. Brown came back, but he's still, 2 years on the shelf. Klubnik has just been pedestrian. 2 touchdown passes, 2 interceptions, not a lot of yards. The offensive line has been good, not great. Defensive line has been probably really good to really good, a little bit inconsistent. And so they haven't really got the rhythm going yet. They're in their mind, they're saying, okay, we're like Ohio State last year where we're it took a little while to kind of get going, but they better start getting some really explosive because, Troy had them on the ropes. They had to really, dig down deep to beat them. Now you're facing a Georgia Tech team that's more than game, and they are for real.
Mm-hmm.
And Georgia Tech, they're motivated by not being ranked. Then say you get through Georgia Tech. Now you got Fran Brown and Syracuse. They're no punk. And then you got to expect the best from North Carolina. These are all teams that Clemson should beat.
On paper.
Well, then now you're getting down there to, okay, SMU is going to have the same athletes. Okay, Duke.
Pissed off from how you beat them last year.
Exactly. It somewhat of an upset in their mind. They feel like they're better. Okay, Duke, you probably should, be able to easily. That Florida State game is a lot different.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then Louisville, no joke. Okay, you got the.
Louisville won a tough one against James Madison, by the way. Shout out Dukes for making that one interesting.
Yeah, well, they're no punk. They're tested more, right? And then you'll beat up on Furman, and then you ease in the season at a different South Carolina team than you probably thought coming into the season. So as perfect as this season could go, it can get upside down for Clemson real quick because it seemed like everybody else around them really leveled up.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they felt like they could off season or social media beat you, whereas like teams have gotten a lot better and they've closed that gap significantly.
Lots on the table still for Clemson. Wet blanket. Did you guys happen to watch Stanford versus BYU on Saturday night? No, I did not. Did you happen to watch BYU Stanford, Jay?
I did not. I know it was an exciting game because I looked at it, but I don't really. I try not to watch BYU.
Just out of principle.
Mm-hmm.
Understandable. If you can't watch Utah on TV, you can't be transported there.
Yeah.
Better safe than sorry. But yes, there was a forward pass that went for a safety.
By Stanford.
Yes. Stanford threw a pass forward and it ended up going backwards for -1 yards and a safety. It was pretty incredible.
Andrew Luck is struggling out there.
Frank Reich is struggling out there.
But that's kind of like
Stanford is struggling out there.
Yeah. It's gonna take another year or two for them to figure it out.
Oh, at least.
Yeah. The style that they're wanting to play worked in the Pac-12 back then. They have to adapt. And I don't know how they're going to do it based on Stanford and all that, but they're going to have to find a way. Go 10 personnel, throw it all around the yard, kind of a la Northwestern, or find a way to get dynamic guys into your university.
Speaking of dynamic guys, plenty of them on the field for Sunday Night Football last night. We'll talk about Ravens-Bills, emphasis on the Bills there, with a historic comeback for Buffalo. I got to get my 45 seconds in on the Colts and some other interesting games in week one.
I'll give you more than that.
Yeah, I was going to turn into that, but I'll monologue for 45 seconds, then we'll discuss. NFL Heavy Hour 3 of Old School after this.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Oerman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
No cravings, no hunger pains, no struggle. Thanks to GLP-1s from Limitless Mail, weight loss is possible. Picture this. Your clothes fit better, your energy's up, your doctor's impressed, and your friends start noticing. Limitless Mail's GLP-1 program is medically monitored and changing men's lives. There's no better time than now to get on board. Lose the weight, better your health, gain your confidence without being hungry. Free consult at limitlessmail.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Hi, this is Tom Osborne. Join me on September 23rd and dine at your favorite local Renza in support of Teammates Mentoring. 10% of Renza sales on September 23rd will benefit your local Teammates Mentoring chapter. Teammates Mentoring helps students reach their full potential by providing a caring adult mentor to meet with them once a week in school. Thank you for your support of Teammates Mentoring. We will see you at Runza on September 23rd.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what?
I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
Big news, Nebraska. Love Omaha is now Love Nebraska. This is more than just a new name. It's a tribute to what Nebraska represents in the world of volleyball. It's still the same team with the same mission, led by players you know and love. Now backed by a new ownership group led by Jordan Larson. As Love Nebraska, they're entering an exciting new chapter, pushing for a championship title in 2026 and building new opportunities for the next generation of players across the state. They want you with them. Let's show the world how Nebraska plays volleyball. Join the movement at lovneb.com and sign up to become a Love Nebraska insider today.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Oerman. Old School with Foreman and Oerman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Yes, sir. A little breezy Wednesday or breezy Monday, Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman, Old School, the New School Way, live 1040 O Street. We are brought to you by the Mercado Certified Piedmontese, Special Ingredients and Butcher Shop, 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, 85th and Andermatt / Old Cheney, and 168th in Maple up there in the O Metro or whatever you want to call it. A lot of locations. Grilling season is almost over, so make sure you go stock up for the winter. Because you got to go from grilling season to you got to get your oven working.
Pan searing season.
Pan searing, a little crock pot. You got to get it going. You can't. It never stops.
What does Jay Foreman do in a crock pot? You a roast guy?
Yeah, I'll do some roast. I'll do like drumsticks, chicken thighs, and kind of whatever I feel like putting in there.
Oof.
Yeah, it comes out all right. Yeah, you do stuff, and then you can get Dutch's oven and all that stuff, and kind of you can make it. Just I think it's like it's a good time. If you go to Mercado, you can just kind of figure out what you want to do. Worst case scenario, you always got good meat. It's good. As long as you cook it good, it's going to taste good.
They will not give you bad product. It is up to you not to screw it up.
Right. It's kind of like the product on the field in the NFL.
Truly.
They're gonna give you a good players. You just can't screw it up, man. I'm telling you, the Baltimore Ravens, Coach Orr, the new defensive coordinator over there, boy. You talk about being puckered up real tight. Baltimore Ravens, even though they have one of the most unstoppable forces in recent history in Lamar Jackson, has always been a defensive-oriented organization.
Always. Not some of the time.
Yeah.
All of the time.
That's Baltimore. Tough, physical. Play with a little edge.
Let's stick on that point for a second. Always been a defensive-oriented team. So then are you okay with John Harbaugh making the decision? Obviously you are with the results as a Bills fan. Do you understand the thought process for John Harbaugh to punt on that 4th and 2 and give the ball back to Buffalo? Or even though you've always been defensive-oriented, you had Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry who would run for 10 yards a carry between them. Do you give them a chance even though it's on your side of the field? Go for it. Ice the game. You put it in the hands of your defense.
I lean on my guy that you feel there should have been an MVP. And I lean on the big dude back there, especially when he's mad. He's got to get his get back right. For 2 yards?
2 yards.
With that
6
offensive
feet.
line, and this is how you're built?
Mm-hmm.
Against a Buffalo defense that's,
And if nothing else, you gave the ball back to Josh Allen.
Yeah. With momentum.
With momentum.
Yeah. Yeah. And if they would have scored from where, if you did get stopped, you would have probably had the ball back with more time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of what ifs, but at the end of the day, they should have never been in that position. So as much as we're talking about that one play, that one decision, there was plenty of plays and decisions before that. And that's probably the bigger problem, because I think the biggest difference between Orr and
McDonald,
Wink Martindale, all those guys there before, is the lack of man-to-man coverage. You got everybody on that team at second or third level can cover. You're playing zone, and then now you're up here talking about lack of pass rush. The big deal is, and this is where you bring in Micah Parsons. The Ravens at least did a little initial look-see to see if they possibly could get him. That's why you think that a defense that was, I guess, assumed and known to be one of the best in the league last year, and that's a byproduct of what they did over time. We're thinking about getting a player at the price tag with Micah Parsons, because they do not have an outside pass rusher.
Not like that.
Not like that. Now, Kyle Van Noy, who is a linebacker by trade, like a stack linebacker, is a really, really good secondary pass rusher. And he's a really, really good schematic pass rusher.
But he's not just saying
he's not a
winning one-on-one lineup.
Right, he's not a TJ Watt, because that's not how he came in the league. Now he's a really good.
I mean, he's not even a Brian Burns.
But he produces though. But he produces when the situation works well. He's very, very smart. He knows kind of how to play from his time with the Patriots. That really kind of rejuvenated his career, and he's been able to parlay it. And this is not taking anything away from him. I think he's a great player. I mean, he's been playing so long, but as far as lining up outside, they don't have a Terrell Suggs. They don't have it. And you need that, if you're going to be able to, finish games. If you're going to be able to punt on 4th and 2, you're going to need somebody that's going to be able to make a play. And they haven't found anybody that's able to make the play or plays from the outside pass rush for quite some time. Now they've invested some assets in there as far as draft picks go, but you haven't got any I guess return on your investment. I mean, when you look at it,
Odafe Owe, meh.
He's more of an athlete, but this is also a problem. When you fall in love with the underwear Olympics and not the production, this is what you get. Literally, it was a test out thing.
Yeah.
And
which you'd think that Newsom and DeCosta would be smarter than.
You would like to think.
They have been before.
Yeah. But you can get blinded by, we have Raekwon Smith, we have Kyle Hamilton, who all can make plays. Wiggins is starting to come around. You got Marlon Humphrey. I mean, you got perennial Pro Bowlers right there. Oh, we got that. We'll be fine. And then more importantly, we really upgraded for Lamar Jackson. We got Derrick Henry.
Bateman's coming to his own.
Coming on his own. You still got Mark Andrews, and you got Zay Flowers, and you had a great one-handed catch by DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins did exactly what he should have done. He made a huge catch, a contested catch. That's what you actually needed. So you've invested in your offense, but you overlooked your defense, and it came back to bite you because Josh Allen, he got hot.
Before we get onto the Bills, because I know you'll have a lot to say on that front, the Baltimore Ravens have now lost 8 games since the start of 2021 in which they had a win probability of at least 90% at one point in the game.
Yeah. And it's a little bit of how they play. They try to beat you up and all that, and I think they're able to overwhelm you generally early with Lamar Jackson, but teams are able to adjust, and that's how you're able to come back.
But then you should have the ultimate closer in Derrick Henry.
Right.
Battering ram that he is with the resources and the guys he drafted on the offensive line. That's why that's baffling to me. I know Derrick Henry hasn't been there that whole time.
Yeah,
but when you get him, Lamar Jackson, that weapon in Derrick Henry, when you have those guys on the outside, that tells me Baltimore should have an easier time putting teams away, not a harder time putting teams away.
In theory, in reality, though, not so fast, because Lamar Jackson is the equivalent of a volume scorer and a volume dribbler in basketball. It's really good when you're playing against teams that can't handle it. But once the team kind of comes up with a scheme late in the game, everybody's been standing around. So when it comes times for Austin Oerman to hit a corner three, you haven't had a ball, you haven't had a pass to you in the 15 minutes. That's what happens. Because Lamar Jackson getting a 19-yard gain after running around for 76 yards is not something that you can practice.
Not something you bank on.
That
is
is one dude that is superiorly better than everybody on the field athletically, making chicken salad out of you-know-what. So if he had to make chicken salad out of you-know-what, the you-know-what is going to be the same you-know-what late in the game. And so they need to figure out a way, number one, to play with and around their defense, which I think will get better. They need to, and then defensively, they need to have role definition and, expectations elevated. Because really, when you look at it, they invested a ton in their second and third level, right? So you got to think they traded for Raekwon Smith. Okay, you bring in Van Noy, Wiggins, Hamilton, Starks was a draft pick, Humphrey, Alexander was a trade. Not one was a D-line.
Not a one.
So that's where they're struggling, and the D-line because I feel like that second and third level is so good, they'll be able to really rally and stop the run because they have so many different body types and athletic ability, so they can stop the run. They can't get to the pass rusher, or can't get to the passer. They can't rush the passer.
And what is the way that you get an NFL quarterback rattled? You hit him.
I mean, there was times that Josh Allen was back there, the one that he threw in the end zone and it got tipped and Coleman
dove got it. Yeah.
He was back. He literally hadn't been touched maybe 5 seconds.
He was just hopping up and down.
Hopping around looking for somebody to get open. I mean, that's a practice drill.
Yeah.
It's a plaster drill on defense, scramble drill on offense, down in the red zone. Now, some of it could be based on you're rushing 3, dropping 8 and all that. But
if you're rushing 3, you got to be able to get home. Because giving those guys all day to survey, maybe that works early in Josh Allen's career, where he'll try to force the big play. But he has matured. He's taking better care of the ball. That you got to be like the Eagles against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, or what the Bucs did. If you can get home with 4, that's how you get closer to neutralizing these guys. And still, you're going to be in for a hard time. Just rushing 3 and sitting 8 isn't enough.
Yeah, it is, and you got to mix it up. And I would not think that and it's probably to have more eyes on the potential quarterback scramble. But I like it with this type of unit that the Baltimore Ravens have on defense. I would like to see you guys. I'd like you to blitz, because I feel like whether it's Van Noy, whether it's you send Kyle Hamilton or you send Starks, or let alone Marlon Humphrey, they're athletically better than Josh Hamilton or Josh Allen. Let alone now they did invest in Mike Green as far as rushing the passer, but he's taking a big step up coming from Marshall.
Yeah. Let me say this on your blitz point too. Josh Allen's probably not running for a touchdown in that circumstance.
No.
He's going to get a first down. Sure, he's going to pick up some chunk yardage.
Yeah.
But the worst thing that's going to happen is, okay, you miss in your rush lanes. He gets out of the pressure. You still got to have coverage down the field. So either he gets the ball out of his hand early, out of timing, or he runs for 15, 20 yards and you get a chance to regroup and do it again.
Yeah, and the red zone is a lot tighter. So the lanes aren't there, the throwing lanes aren't there. So that's where you see teams that really are maybe a little bit soft, 20-20, and then they get in the red zone, they tighten up. But either way, the Ravens just didn't finish out the game possession wise to the maximum of their ability, and they this is a double loss. They lost the game on the field, but then lost the game, in their head as well. This is a now I think they'll bounce back. That's a pretty tough team in Harbaugh, and they'll be motivated. sure Lamar would be motivated, but this could be a victory or a victory for Buffalo, but a loss for the Ravens. That could be a deciding factor where they have home field advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's why it's two losses. It's very, very important. But as these teams are going back to work, and I'm sure these guys are already at home because they've watched the tape this morning. This is also a crucial part to it. Both teams have to attack this film the same way, because if Buffalo, well, I guess we can move on to Buffalo. If they focus too much on that last quarter, those first 3 quarters are dangerous. Those 3 quarters could be the one that you have the epic fail. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. You gave other teams the blueprint.
Right. And then with the Ravens, if they focus so much on, now they have to, but if you don't also give credit for what you did to get to that point, that could be a hangover too. So it's dealing with success and dealing with a little failure or adversity, but they're both have to really get past to wherever the reason why they're at the point that they are this morning or today, because both of them will be players in the down the stretch. They probably should feel very comfortable and better and more confident going into Kansas City or Kansas City coming to them than ever before. I don't think the fear factor. I think the fear factor with Kansas City, Mahomes, and Andy Reid is starting to dwindle. And do you really fear San Diego, or was that the best San Diego, or not San Diego, or the LA Chargers? I feel like that's the best version that you're going to get, considering this is the first game of the year. Let's see, make them prove it. Denver looked a little shaky, and nobody in the AFC South is really doing much.
Unless we'll get to that in a later. I'm kidding.
No, they might though. I mean, the way they look, the way Daniel Jones is playing, I like Daniel Jones. I do. Now, I don't know if I'm going to start my franchise with him, but I like him at that price tag. I think he did more with less in New York, and I think that they didn't support him as far as like getting them weapons. I think he has something to prove. I mean, if Sam Darnold can get $54 million on a kind of a 1-year prove it with the Vikings, Daniel Jones can do the same.
Mm-hmm.
So you just never know what can happen. But that Bills game was, it's like one of those games like, all right, they came back, and then usually you expect something not to happen their way. And then when they punted, I was like, oh, this is over.
You gave that man the ball back.
Yeah, it's over.
Well, let me see if I can find that stat really quick, because I saved it thinking we would get to this point with the Bills. I gotta search Josh Allen, not Bills. Well, anyways, the Bills have won, or at least not lost, turnover margin in 23 straight games now, Jay, NFL record.
Yeah.
That goes a long way. Here's this from a Deontay Lee, football writer for The Ringer. There are 38 quarterbacks with at least 200 dropbacks in the last 5 minutes of a half or a game since 2020. The number one in expected points added per dropback since 2020, Josh Allen.
Yeah.
The guy Baltimore punted the ball to last night. 269 total yards, 3 touchdowns, 250 of it through the air. Oh, and that's just in the fourth quarter. That's a really good game. But he was 16 of 21, 269 total yards, 3 tutties in the fourth quarter.
And I think that's where where Josh Allen has really elevated himself potentially. Now, obviously, he has to win, a Super Bowl, but just playing wise, and people don't realize over the last 3 or 4 games that he's played Patrick Mahomes, he's outplayed Patrick Mahomes. There's been a defensive issue, right? And
Baltimore can now say the same thing against Buffalo.
Right. But there was times where Josh needed to get better. I think, Greg Roman really helped him. Brady did good. Obviously, Kevin or Dorsey or Dable and Dorsey. He was able to kind of add things to it. And then I think when he finally realized he needed to be better in the red zone, and then also McDermott really emphasizes, like, we need the football. We can't turn it over. The more times we can get you the football, the better you are. I think he's got, really, to be honest with you, his turnaround from college to the pros probably is the biggest turnaround in probably recent NFL history. He came out of college, I think, Austin, if you look at like 54% completion percentage.
Yeah.
But a strong arm.
Turnover machine at
turnover
times.
machine, lack of experience, rightfully so. Strong arm. He changed his mechanics. He changed his mindset. And then obviously it drastically changed his performance because to be honest with you, look at it. His skill position, guys, for the most part, his offensive line has been decent. Nothing special compared to everybody else.
I mean, even look at early Mahomes, what he had for weapons compared to what Josh Allen has had
That's
on
what
aggregate.
you compare it's he's done more with less, and that's no disrespect to any of the players.
But he's also going to have to, with a contract like that. So the fact that he did it early on and is continuing to do it, you got to go get him some help sometimes, which is why I think we both still like the Amari Cooper signing or trade for them at midseason. You got to find ways to support him because I think some of what you're running into with the Chiefs is you can expect your all-time great quarterback to elevate guys to a point. Sometimes you do still need a true difference maker on that side of the ball. But if you're going to pay your quarterback this much money and you're going to invest it in the lines to protect him, then you're going to have to get really creative about how you acquire that top skill position talent. That either means draft well late in the first round, find a steal in the mid rounds, or be willing to part with draft capital that you're going to need to try to sustain your run.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to do it different ways. You're going to be excellent in developing too. And you got to take care of the guys that, really are part of Josh Allen's success. And that's why you saw Cook get paid. That's why you've seen, I would say like mid-level guys at the wide receiver position were able to get other contracts. I was Shakir. Coleman's on a rookie contract, and then you had Joshua Palmer. They all kind of came up big, right? And then you had Dalton Kincaid, who was a first-round pick. But then you still have that bonus baby of Dawson Knox, who, I think off the field when his family member passed away really affected him on there. I think if Keon Coleman, obviously catching a tip touchdown and all that, but I think that you're not going to expect that every week. But if you can count on him out of the 17 games, 10 games where he makes that 50-50 ball catch, like the one he made on third down, where he used his basketball skills in his body and snatched it, showing some improvement, showing some more sense of urgency in and out of his breaks, along with Shakir and all those guys in the way that they're able to use him. That's how Josh Allen is able to make more or less, and you can always have him at or at the top of getting paid at the quarterback position. But then he also has to realize eventually he's going to have to figure out a different way, or they're going to have to figure out a different way contract-wise to make sure that you can retool on that defense. You cannot be at the point. Now, I think the defense has obviously Ed Oliver. You got
game of his life last night.
Yeah. He, you know what?
He's been good for a while.
He's been good. The last 2 years, he's been what they expected. I think he's got a little bit bigger. He hasn't lost his quickness. I think once he got paid, I think he was like, okay, now I'm ready to go. Because you remember everybody thought he was at Houston.
He's supposed to be Aaron Donald 2.0.
And he was a little bit smaller, but he played like right over the nose.
Yeah.
And it took him a while to translate to the NFL. Then you got Greg Russo who's starting to come on. Obviously, when you're 6'7", and then Milano is the bell cow. He's just got to stay healthy. But in the backfield, like the defensive backfield, they are dependent on that first and second level. And then when you have those guys playing good, and they found a diamond in the rough via Matt Milano being hurt in Benford, now you got a 2-for-1 there. That's how Buffalo's got to survive team-wise, personnel-wise, because it's not a free agent destination place. You were lucky enough to have Von Miller. He had one really good season. All the other ones was kind of was sparse, suspended, and injured. And then you remember, like, he first kind of came in. He was coming off being injured, didn't really play, kind of made a couple plays. The next year, really good, then had some off-the-field stuff. So now they need to really hit it either on mid-level veterans or really draft and develop well. And now, I wouldn't call Joey Bosa a mid-level veteran, but, I mean, that's a guy that you get that was looking for a place to come and start after playing such a long time with the Chargers. So they really get unique, situations like that. You'll get some good players.
You will. And if you're the Bills, it's important that you maximize those opportunities, because if he doesn't sign with you, we just talked about another team looking for pass rushers in Baltimore. You can't let your AFC rivals get them. Now, you have a salary cap. You need to make sure you build depth. You can't take a flyer on all these guys. But when they fill a need, when their medicals check out, it's better for you to stockpile them than your opponents. Maybe for the regular season, especially a game like this where you said it, counts for a game and a half or two. Not only did you get the actual win in the score column, but you get the mental win. You get the tiebreaker edge should it come to that. And it's week 1.
Yeah,
that is a
Austin,
fascinating, strong position for Buffalo to be in already.
Listen, you're ace in the hole. Mark Andrews drops the 2-point pass last year.
Mm-hmm.
When you thought that this was the year to win the Super Bowl. This is the year we're built for Kansas City. That's why all those assets are in the back end.
Right.
You couldn't get through Buffalo. Okay, the whole offseason, we're going to get our revenge. Same place, same city, same result.
Even more heartbreaking, though.
I know.
I'm saying it's positive for Buffalo,
Yeah,
but for Baltimore to have all off season.
It was great. It was great. It was a great game.
To take us through the Jay Foreman emotions watching that game. First quarter, you said you knew they were going to win after Baltimore punted, but
after the third quarter, I was like, man, this is horrible. How you guys play like this defensively? Then I was like, all right, well, it's Lamar Jackson. And, I think it was ready to throw the remote when Derrick Henry went up the sideline untouched. Yeah. I was like, oh, this might get out of hand, right? Well, then they scored, and then obviously Baltimore is him-ha, and I was back in my mind, I was like, if Baltimore makes one more kind of him-ha mistake, this is the wrong dude to be giving the ball to, right? And then next thing you know,
Henry just loses it.
Yeah. It happens. Buffalo Mystique. Beat them one more time. They'll never beat you again. They'll have to blow up that whole Ravens organization. If they lose some more, they'll be like, oh, John Harbaugh lost the team. Just like that. Ooh. Just like that. It won't happen, but that's how it can go.
At any other organization in the NFL, or most others, it would.
Yeah. And they got a great front office. Pretty solid.
I mean, they probably have a better reputation right now than Pittsburgh does. Pittsburgh's obviously been doing it for longer.
Well, and I think they beat Pittsburgh because they've had success, as far as in the playoffs.
Sure.
And whereas Pittsburgh has kind of been
one and done.
9-7, one and done. Really, when they played in the play, you're like, all right, Pittsburgh, we got to play bad and to lose.
Right.
And so it's going to be interesting, and it'll be interesting to see what Buffalo does after this because the Jets look a little bit better, Patriots not so much, Dolphins look worse. So don't get so. I guess. Like what Coach Rule was talking about. You can't, be excited about being in maybe a lower division or that front runner mentality that you get excited to play the Dolphins or whatever, because you got to be shooting for, in this case, the Chiefs because they were in the Super Bowl last year, or you might have to beat the Ravens again or whoever else is in your way. You got to think about the opponent you're chasing on a consistent basis. So, anyways, we're going to take a quick break, come back, old school to new school way, Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman. It is the Colts. It is Daniel Jones, Austin Oerman, and the new Jim Irsay's daughter that are taking the Colts to new heights. Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman, old school. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Oerman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Sartor Heyman Jewelers is celebrating 120 years as Lincoln's top choice for fine jewelry. Join us for our anniversary sale going on now through September 14th. Enjoy an exclusive 20 to 75% savings on dazzling diamond jewelry, exquisite rings, and luxury watches. This once-a-year event is our way of saying thank you to a community that has supported us over a century. Come enjoy our lowest prices of the year and celebrate this milestone with us now through September 14th at Sartor Heyman Jewelers.
Hello, this is Mary Pat Waite. I've had the privilege of working with Lincoln families as their realtor for more than 31 years, and I'm so proud to be associated with MP Dodge Real Estate. For me, your transaction is unique in its own way. My experience allows me to bring you trusted care and a really great outcome. My NP Dodge family shares the same client focus.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
Big news, Nebraska. Love Omaha is now Love Nebraska. This is more than just a new name. It's a tribute to what Nebraska represents in the world of volleyball. It's still the same team with the same mission, led by players you know and love. Now backed by a new ownership group led by Jordan Larson. As Love Nebraska, they're entering an exciting new chapter, pushing for a championship title in 2026 and building new opportunities for the next generation of players across the state. They want you with them. Let's show the world how Nebraska plays volleyball. Join the movement at lovneb.com and sign up to become a Love Nebraska insider today.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Make this your best football season yet with help from Limitless Mail. If you're struggling with low energy, muscle loss, brain fog, belly fat, mood swings, it's likely low testosterone, and Limitless Mail can fix that. We've helped over 100,000 men feel stronger, leaner, sharper, and more like themselves again. Don't sit on the sidelines this season. Take control. Book your free consult today at limitlessmail.com. That's limitlessmail.com.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. It doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100, or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
Back to old school with Foreman and Oerman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman. This is the Indianapolis Colts segment. I will say this. I am happy that the Colts represented.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And when I start seeing the score, I was like, I know Austin is hyped. And
I was outside mowing the lawn. I had so much pent-up energy. I couldn't believe it.
Now, are you a believer in Daniel Jones, or are you still wait and see?
Still wait and see. Absolutely still wait and see. To me, this was everything clicking for the Colts and nothing clicking for the Dolphins. I still don't think Miami can possibly be that bad. Like, there's no way the Dolphins can be that bad. I just don't believe it. That was wild to see them look so atrocious. But I think we also saw, Shane Steichen at his best. I think the Colts clicked in a way that they haven't in a while. A lot of positive game script for them with just how bad Miami was. So I don't think that Indianapolis is going to be playing from ahead or not in a back and forth game like that the entire season, right? I don't think this is going to be the Daniel Jones that we get every week, unless it is. I mean, Pittman Jr. had that stumble that he recovered for the touchdown. Tyler Warren absolutely looked the part. Offensive line looked pretty darn solid across the line.
Yeah.
DP was giving me crap for my DeForest Buckner love. Buck's good. That's hell of a football player.
Yeah, he's a pro.
You know, Kenny Moore had a strip sack. Nick Cross lit Tua up. I thought Xavier Howard, was decent for his first game. Lou Anarumo looked the part. This better not be the best Indianapolis plays all year. Better than I was expecting for week 1, partially on them, partially on the Dolphins. But no, that's an eye-opening. Oh, you guys got that in you. Cool.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can do that again against Denver.
Yeah, they I think Lou coming over from the Bengals and motivated and feels like he was disrespected because he lost a lot of players and his scheme obviously works. He was the only defensive coordinator to really stymie Kansas City Chiefs when they were at their peak multiple times, both home and away and the playoffs. So it was non-discretionary. And I think they have a sneaky good roster. I kept saying it, that they do. I think when you have Travaris Ward, that's not even talked about, who's when healthy is a lockdown corner. Xavier Howard, who when his mind is right and all his stuff is off the field, on the field, he's a straight up number 1 dog. And you have him, a former Dolphin. You got enough defensive linemen and investment in the defensive lineman when you got Grover Stewart. We saw him when he went up to the Vikings and made those plays. Obviously, the Vikings were able to come back.
Taekwon Lewis.
Yeah, Taekwon Lewis is an afterthought. Gilmore, all those. They have
Pays fine.
Right, they have all those guys, and so you have a really good roster. You have in my opinion, if Daniel Jones plays decently well in this division, considering the way the Houston Texans offensive line looked.
Oh, that was not good.
Okay. So that's a thorn in their side. That's a achy back or whatever for the Houston Texans. This could be a 10-11 win team with the Colts. And now you want to find ways to be a little bit more conventional and get somebody going outside of Pittman. So whether it's Pierce, Downs, or whatever. Now, let's just say Tyler Warren is anywhere from like 3 to 5, 5.5 catches a game. So that'd be like 3 to 6, or it'd be like 3 to 5, 4 to 6 catches. And he does his thing, right? And then, you can sprinkle in Jonathan Taylor, and he did pretty good. You expect the running game to get a little bit better schematically wise. You know what I'm saying? Where you're able to kind of mesh the two. And Jonathan Taylor is the type of dude to where you could really take Daniel Jones from 29 attempts down to like 20 back in the day. And then you could uptick his carries, RPO action. And then there you go with this is what you got Steichen for. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And so those passing attempts then goes over to Jonathan Taylor at 24 carries or 22 carries, and Gideon is still at like 14, and they are rocking and rolling, and that's what they want to do. It's time of possession. It's a rested defense, and they have pass rushers, and they have like 1-year rental or more highly tenured guys at the defensive back position to make some noise.
I do think that's the way Indianapolis wants to play, what you're alluding to, right? If you back off Daniel Jones's attempts, probably maximized at 25 if everything's going well. But let's say there's another 4 carries to spread around. DJ Giddens looked fine, but if that's 4 more for Jonathan Taylor, I don't think anyone in Indianapolis is mad about that. The receiving core intrigues me, though. Pittman, 6 for 80. That's pretty much what he gives you. Anything more than that is huge. Warren, 7 for 76 in his debut. Like you said, probably won't get 7 every week, but at least he's there.
Yeah.
Indianapolis quarterbacks haven't had a consistent tight end to throw to. Alec Pierce, I think, is a bit guy in this offense. You need him for the vertical ability. He and Mitchell, I think, are going to alternate a lot of reps out there. Pierce in a walk year for him, weren't able to get a contract extension or haven't extended him with his rookie deal, one of the two. Daniel Jones isn't known for what he does down the field, right? He's short to intermediate. enough to keep the defense honest. Pierce had that one catch up the left sideline for the 36 yards. Mitchell had the toe tapper for 18, and then just 1 for 3 besides that. I think those guys are good. The Colts need them. But even more intriguing for me moving forward will be Josh Downs. Seems like that's an offense he can thrive in, with where Daniel Jones succeeds. And even 3 catches for Jonathan Taylor, not on screens. That was just, hey, he's the check down guy out in the flat. Let's get it to him. That was one of the knocks on Jonathan Taylor coming out of Wisconsin. He can't catch. They don't throw it to him. Can he actually be, a third down back as well? It seems like at least through one game, the Colts are willing to use him that way.
Yeah,
Not like he had stone hands or anything, but just didn't ever.
He didn't ever get the opportunity, and I think he worked at it. It's something when you want a comparison. That's where Braylon Allen for the Jets is really struggling, is catching the ball. And I think Jonathan Taylor always had the ability to run routes. You know what I mean? The intermediate routes. And so I think that he's an asset.
But never had to use it in college.
Never had to use it in college, but it was a hit. It was kind of like where people used to, Amon Green they used to say that, but Amon could run routes and could catch. And that's obviously where he became really effective in Green Bay. I think the role definition point that I'm talking about is in particular 2 guys, Josh Downs and Mitchell. I think you can play those guys the same. You're going to have to make a decision on Pierce. And if you don't like somebody opposite of Pittman, then you need to do what Minnesota did. And now when they got Adam Thielen, you might need to try to go, a little temperature check on Amari Cooper. Somebody like that's like because that's what Daniel Jones needs, somebody reliable.
A.D. Mitchell is not that, and Josh Downs is a shorter slot guy.
Right.
Hard
so you need somebody with experience, and you could, they bring guys in on practice squad. Heck, they even, they brought in Amir Abdullah. So that lets you know. It also lets you know when you start to look at the transactions, they'll pick up veterans after week 1. Why? Because their contract isn't fully guaranteed for the full year, and then so they could release them. Bring him back. They won't. He'll be there for a little while, right? For sure. But you also have to look at what Amir does. That number 1 is leadership. Number 2 is special teams ability. Number 3, third down. You're trying. Could you look at Gideon's and you look at Taylor, or Taylor and Gideon's kind of in the same. Here comes our third down back. They're letting you know what the next phase they're going to put in their offense, and that's where they are dangerous. Because now they're starting to level up. They got through the Anthony Richardson shock. They didn't support him. It probably wasn't handled right. Maybe not even the right. Definitely wasn't handled right. Might not even been the right decision yet. But yesterday it was. It's interesting to see how they move forward, because they have a very talented roster. Now they have to do a better job of making it right.
I would think by the end of the year, what the Colts would want to happen is A.D. Mitchell to grow into that number 2 for now. I still think Pittman's probably best as a 1B. Maybe he's a Mike Evans, 1A type. I mean, obviously Mike Evans is a better player, but I don't see the true top 10 receiver in the sport thing with Pittman. Mitchell's a little bit more athletic. He's a little faster. If his head's screwed on straight and if he has an accurate quarterback, maybe he can be a truer number 1, and then Pittman's an overqualified 2 in a lot of ways. But Mitchell becomes the deep threat. They can trade Pierce. Maybe they get just a late round pick for him. They're not just going to cut him. But if Mitchell can step up and be that pretty clear-cut number 2, clear off a spot on the 53 man, I still think the Colts are going to be tested at linebacker. I don't necessarily love their linebacker core. Franklin will put up numbers. He'll get his tackles. But I think he's one of the guys you were alluding to about the drop off the field the last couple of years.
He's been living his best life. They have the back end and the front end taken care of. This is where you want a Franklin to really have the type of year that got him paid.
He's good, but is his head going to be screwed on straight? Right. Is he good enough? I'm not a Joe Bocci believer.
Me neither.
And you're not going to get a stud, a linebacker at this point in the season or moving forward.
Unless you call up Philly, who you have a connection with.
You do.
You have Nakobe Dean up there, if he's healthy. Or could you move one of the guys? What's the guy? He was there. Well, actually, he's at the 49ers now, but he was a backup where they went to the 49ers after the season last year. There's guys you can trade for. I would even think about, calling Dallas and trying to get Kenneth Murray or somebody like that. You might have to, give up a lot, not a lot, but a little to get a lot. This is the year for you to make a run, because if I'm Steichen,
it's now or never.
Yeah, but this is
Literally.
our opportunity. Well, okay, Jacksonville is Jacksonville, right? Are you that scared of Jack? Not necessarily.
Right now.
Tennessee, look, they did not look good.
Cam Ward looked good. Tennessee looked bad.
Right. Houston, the offensive line. That ain't changing. It's easier to find a linebacker than offensive linemen, more than one during the season. They had, you know what I'm saying? And so there's some linebackers that play rotation, they rotate a lot. They're looking for an opportunity to start that could come in and not only relieve some guys, but then also take some snaps that fit this skill set along with the other guys that they have on the defense. So
one other couple or Colts notes. Daniel Jones, first player in NFL history to have 2 or more rushing touchdowns and 250 passing yards in his first game with the franchise. There's some history there. Colts scored on all 7 of their possessions today. First team since 1977 to do it.
There it is.
Think about that. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Drew Brees. Go on through the list. Only Daniel Jones has scored on all 7 possessions of a game since 1977.
And that's why the only outlier is, the only indication is because he is by far might be the fastest one.
Here's the other.
He ran so fast he fell over.
He did. Would you know anything? Sorry. Just the Colts' second Week 1 win since 2012.
Dang.
Colts won in Week 1. I think it was 2013. And then lost every Week 1 game from 2014 through 2024. So Daniel Dimes broke a legitimate curse.
Yeah, now you just don't want to be like when I was at Houston Texans. We won season openers twice and proceeded to go on the L streak. So what's not a streak is the game this week coming up against Houston Christian. Are you planning a trip to Memorial Stadium for a Husker game? Football games can be so much more fun for the family, but sometimes the younger children can't sit through a whole game. So what should you do? The Lincoln Children's Museum offers game day play dates. While the parents enjoy the game inside the stadium, their kids can get their own game day experience from our friends at the Lincoln Children's Museum. Drop them off 90 minutes before game time and pick them up as late as 60 minutes after the game. And while you're cheering on the Huskers, the kids can enjoy fun activities involving science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, all centered around the theme of football and getting active. It's affordable, convenient, and just steps away from Memorial Stadium. If interested, you must register your child or children prior to game day at lincolnchildrensmuseum.org. That is pretty cool. That's a drop-off, and you don't have to worry about it. We're all going to the game. We're going in. You're staying. But they probably want to be over there at Lincoln Children's Museum instead. We're going to take a quick break, come back, put a bow on this bad boy on this Victory Monday. Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Oerman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Make this your best football season yet with help from Limitless Mail. If you're struggling with low energy, muscle loss, brain fog, belly fat, mood swings, it's likely low testosterone, and Limitless Mail can fix that. We've helped over 100,000 men feel stronger, leaner, sharper, and more like themselves again. Don't sit on the sidelines this season. Take control. Book your free consult today at limitlessmail.com. That's limitlessmail.com.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's specials through September 9th are 15% off produce, $1 off all drinks, and 8-ounce grass-fed, grass-finished flat iron steaks for $12.99 each. Plus, stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursday at the Mercado East or Fired Up Friday at the Mercado North. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Since 1983, Fast Mike's Rollouts has been an trusted and reliable company in Lincoln and the surrounding areas. Fast Mike's handles all sides of construction projects, home renovations, or big cleanouts. With the perfect size dumpster to fit your needs, Fast Mike's Rollouts will haul it all. With same-day delivery in Lincoln, affordable rates, and top-notch service, Fast Mike's Rollouts make cleanup quick and easy. Call now at 402-450-6828 or visit us online at fastmikesrolloffs.com. Book your dumpster today. Fast Mike's Rolloffs, cleanup made simple.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Football game days are fun for the whole family, but not every child is ready for 4 quarters in the stadium. That's why the Lincoln Children's Museum offers game day play dates for kids ages 5 to 12. While you enjoy the game, your kids enjoy their own adventure at the museum, conveniently located just steps from the stadium. Registration required. And the fun isn't just on game days. The museum is open 6 days a week with 3 floors of hands-on play and activities. Out-of-town families, make the most of your weekend in Lincoln. Visit lincolnchildrensmuseum.org.
Acres Fall John Deere Super Sale event is underway. Our complete inventory of John Deere equipment is marked down to sell. From large ag equipment to compact tractors and gators, Acres has something for everyone. And don't miss our State Fair Harvest Days parts and merchandise sale in Grand Island. Special in-store discounts and incentives are available. Visit our Grand Island location at 4050 West Stolly Park Road and see what Acres has to offer. Visit acres.com for all the details. Offer ends September 13th, 2025.
Back to old school with Foreman and Oerman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Quick segment here, a couple minutes before we turn it over again. Ticket weeknights, Tom Chattel. But before we get to that, Tom or Austin, it's fight week actually.
Woo!
Bud and Canelo. You know, and so it seemed like it'd been talked about for a while, got signed, and then it's like, okay, it's in the fall, and then you had to send off with Bud. It's going to be pretty exciting come Saturday.
Man, Matt Rule gave a really fun answer. He was asked about the Crawford and the Canelo fight, and a lot of respect for Bud Crawford going up in weight class this late in his career with nothing to prove. Just a dude that's doing it for the love of the game.
Yeah,
doesn't need the money, he'll take it. But man, imagine Bud beats Canelo. I think we're all kind of assuming there's going to be a trilogy.
Yeah.
To this one, depending on how the first one goes.
Rematch, but I think if it's a good fight, you got to do it again. And obviously,
make Canelo drop down to Bud's weight that time.
Yeah, kind of like, I mean, both of them could go out with a bang. With you're going from 16-ounce gloves to 10-ounce gloves. Canelo is naturally a bigger guy, but I think, Bud probably growing up has been taking on all comers. I don't think that's going to be a problem. And I think Bud doesn't get enough credit for being a technician. everybody just thinks that, he's come from North Omaha. He just goes in there and just, beats everybody up with just brute force. But I think he systematically breaks guys down. And he's definitely motivated by this. I think this could be where he beats Canelo, or let's just say when he beats Canelo, he starts to elevate himself to a stratosphere that I think he said when a couple of his first fight, he got like $60?
Yeah.
Imagine
$60 to almost 60 mil.
Just imagine that type of movie that comes from that upbringing, betting on yourself, beating Canelo.
Make it happen, bud.
Yeah, I mean,
make it happen, bud.
I think he'll win. I think it'll be a good fight. I want to see them go at it. I don't want this dancing around 15 rounds holding each other. Let's go in.
Well, they only get what, 10?
Yeah,
12?
whatever it is. You talking junk in Spanish, I'm talking to you about it. Let's get down. Anyways, appreciate you guys listening. Huskers win again. Obviously, Bills, Colts, it's all good. Houston could bounce back. Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman, old school to new school way. We'll holler at you tomorrow.